0resindy.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Mark your calendar for January 24th at the Hyatt Regency for a night of insight and flair with Tony Katz. Trump 1 year later. VIP and GA tickets are available. WIBC.com for more info. Presented by Defiance Beef Company, Premier Arms and Chimney Solutions.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use this directed.
Heating and air conditioning can be the largest investment you make in your home. Here at Family, we pride ourselves in offering many flexible options.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios. Check out the forecast. Could we see snow, possibly cold temperatures? The charges a Plainfield man is facing, and a recap of IU's basketball game from last night. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 9 o'clock.
Iran is getting ready to crack down on protests even harder. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Planning fast trials and executions. President Trump tells CBS News.
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
After also telling Iranian protesters, keep demonstrating and help is on the way.
The 26-year-old protester is reportedly scheduled to be hanged today by the Iranian regime, who accuses him of crimes against God.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House.
For more than 2 weeks, protests have been growing inside Iran. A human rights group says more than 2,000 people have been killed.
President Trump keeps pushing to take over Greenland. Posting on Truth Social this morning, the U.S. needs it for national security. Adding NATO becomes more formidable if we control Greenland. It's now part of Denmark, and foreign ministers from both will hold talks today with Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Greenland is currently an autonomous part of Denmark, and Greenland's prime minister said alongside the Danish prime minister Tuesday they face a geopolitical crisis, and if they have to choose between the U.S. and Denmark, they choose Denmark.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. More than a week after the U.S. operation capturing Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela keeps releasing political prisoners. 4 of them are Americans. Now to Minneapolis. Anti-ICE protests keep raging, clashing with federal agents, angry over last week's shooting death they call murder. Some federal prosecutors have resigned in the investigation into Renee Good's death. Homeland Security maintains she interfered with ICE operations and drove toward an officer. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, a Democrat, tells Fox and Friends ICE is acting unconstitutionally, not just going after criminal illegal aliens.
A lot of the people that ICE is picking up right now in our city
are not a problem for Minneapolis. They've opened businesses. They've been here for longer than I've been here. They contribute so beautiful and greatly to our city.
It's up to at least 32 people dead in a railroad disaster in Thailand. A crane crashed down on a passenger train that went off the rails. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It'll feel like more like an Indiana winter. You've got a cloudy sky. It's 40 in downtown Indianapolis. Today's high might reach 50 again today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Get ready for stronger winds later today, a drop in temperatures, and some light snow also moving in this afternoon.
We're expecting a dusting, maybe up to a half of an inch here in the Indy area, and a little bit more than that, up to an inch towards our north.
Matt Eckhoff at the National Weather Service in Indianapolis.
This will be more so nuisance snow showers. The ground is quite warm, so even the rush hour commute this evening, the roads will probably be okay, especially if they're treated.
He says this will kick off a stretch of colder weather with chances of snow each day through the weekend. An investigation lasting for nearly a year is bringing child pornography possession and intimidation charges against Braden Scott. The 23-year-old Plainfield man was arrested on Tuesday. He used to help the high school band as a paid percussion technician, but the school says he was never a full-time employee. In February last year, a 16-year-old girl at the school had told police she received disturbing messages from Scott through Snapchat. Then when investigators obtained a search warrant for his home, they found multiple phones, a few USB drives, and a laptop, all containing messages and pictures referencing sexual violence. Officers also say they found cocaine and a school project titled The Knife Cutter that depicted a character fixated on knives. A new bill at the State House would dissolve any township with fewer than 6,700 people or where most of its land is inside a city. Townships that run a fire department and the 9 in Marion County would be exempt.
There are townships, not just in my county, that haven't helped a family in years. Some trustees don't even answer their phones. Some don't fully understand their job responsibilities. Others don't just have the budget for basic technology, and they still rely on paper checkbooks and vouchers. I'm not saying the system is broken beyond repair, but it allows for too much inconsistency.
That's Christina Neely, former Harrison Township trustee in Fayette County. The bill was approved on a 9-3 vote and now goes to the full House. The statewide average for gas today going up. We're now at $2.84. That's according to AAA, and that's the same as the national average, up 2 cents from today compared to Tuesday. A tough outing for the IU men's basketball team Tuesday night. They lose to Michigan State 81-60, suffering back-to-back losses. The Hoosiers will face Iowa on Saturday. That's who Purdue has tonight. The 5th-ranked Boilers tip off with the Hawkeyes in West Lafayette at 6:30. And the Indiana Pacers are hoping to make it 4 straight wins tonight as they take on the Raptors. Head coach Rick Carlisle on the recent hot streak. Center Jay Huff is on.
He has a knack. I don't know what else to call it. It's He's got length. He can palm the ball, which, gives him the opportunity to do some different things. I mean,
Huff is coming off a 20-point performance against the Celtics. Tip-off tonight is at 7 from Cambridge Fieldhouse. Check traffic this morning with Matt Bear.
All right, taking a look at westbound 70, Jared. It's a crash before Emerson Avenue. And right now we're backed up to 465, delay of 24 minutes. South side northbound 65, stop and go before Raymond into the south split. It's construction. Traffic sponsored by Chumba Casino. It's Chumba Casino with over 100 online casino-style games. Chumba Casino is your destination for nonstop entertainment. No purchase necessary. VGW Group void were prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 21+. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hi, this is Chris Cox, owner of Chimney Solutions, Indiana. We're celebrating our 10th year in business. Call this month to take advantage of 10% off all chimney sweeps and inspections. We're also celebrating the opening of our new fireplace showroom on 86th Street and Lafayette Road. Come and experience our exclusive lines of wood-burning and gas fireplaces.
Call 317-557-6979 or chimneyindy.com.
Custom jewelry is not out of reach with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. At PA Jewelers, you can customize any piece of jewelry for that special someone. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. Gold, diamonds, gemstones, and of course those watches from Flederman Von Riest, assembled right here in Indiana. Custom designed jewelry with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Custom jewelry made just for you. PA Jewelers, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. PAJewelers.jewelry.
Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Falling temperatures today, cloudy skies, scattered snow showers, afternoon numbers into the low 30s, less than an inch of accumulation expected. Partly cloudy, cold tonight, a low of 17. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Here's Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Okay, Casey, let me throw out a hypothetical for you.
Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah.
By the way, it's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. It's Casey. Imagine you pissed off not only all of your friends, but almost every single one of their friends. And then, not too far in the future, you really need some stuff.
Yeah.
What do?
You try to make up, I guess.
But how?
You apologize. I'm really sorry about that.
Like if you
But I need something.
You spent a whole year making everybody angry at you.
Yeah.
In some cases, going out of your way to do that.
All
of it's self-inflicted, by the way.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Nothing goes beyond your control. And now you have to come back in front of them and tell them about all the stuff you want them to do for you.
I made a mistake. I've learned my lesson. I really want to work together. I'm sorry.
That is where the governor is tonight at the State of the State speech.
Yeah.
And we'll get into this with Jim Merritt coming up in a little bit because obviously he saw 30 of these during his time in the Indiana Senate. I don't know what Braun can possibly say or do because when you couple the fact that he failed so spectacularly with his signature issue, which was property taxes, and not only did he fail, he let everybody down by not fighting and following through on the promises that he made. So you've already enraged the populace. And in the process of enraging the populace, because the property tax bill is going to do next to nothing for homeowners, especially over time as these other tax increases get enacted that are in that bill. But then, to bookend the year, he essentially tells the Senate, I'm going to primary all of you people if you don't do what I want to do on redistricting, which now it's starting to look more and more on redistricting like that was all about not wanting to lose federal funding and permitting.
For the Mid-State Corridor.
Yeah, for his precious little road, that multi-billion-dollar attempt to connect I-64 to 69, which just conveniently probably going to make him a gajillion dollars with his distribution company. This guy is hated by everyone. And tonight, and by the way, he has the personality and the charisma of a gnat. And now he's got to go up in front of the whole state tonight and lie to us about how great everything is, lie to us about what a great job he did in year one. And now he's going to tell these senators, hey, please help me do some more stuff.
Right. So last year, he was sworn in as governor on January 13th. So we're looking at exactly a year. And when he gave the State of the State speech last year, he said the state was strong.
And I'm happy to say, with all those travels, the state of the state is strong because Hoosiers are strong.
Okay, so how about now? What does he say? He's going to say the state is strong because that's what they always say.
But when you look at this first year, so what are the cornerstones of his first year? Well, first of all, he failed on property taxes. That bill is going to do nothing to address the core issues of why property taxes are out of control, which are assessments. You'll get some piddly $200 or $300 back, which is going to be offset by assessments continuing to go up. A huge portion of school districts across the state of Indiana are going to flood the ballot box with referendums, which will offset the savings anyway, even if there weren't assessments continuing to rise. Then on top of that, by 2027, you're going to start seeing these local governments do these income tax increases. So that's an F. Then he passes this utility bill after saying, I'm going to prevent utility bills from going up, which essentially allows these utility companies to play Dr. Frankenstein with this unproven SMR technology in which they're going to get 80% of whatever they put into this back whether it works for you or not, and then you're going to pay higher bills. So that was awful. He did nothing with the IEDC. He did this audit, which shows the Indiana Economic Development Corporation is totally corrupt. It's handing out dollars to God knows who in some cases, and the dollars you can trace, a whole bunch of them are being doled out by people to companies that are connected to those people. He's done nothing with that. Him firing that board was a joke because the people he put in there are still doing much of the exact same stuff. He has no answer on these data centers. He appears to be all in on those. There's not a single solitary set of espoused values, confirmed value that's coming out of these, other than it's going to make rich people really richer, and it's going to cost us more money through enhanced utility bills. Oh, and by the way, they're getting $1 gajillion from the wholly corrupt IEDC. That was and then the kicker, to pay the bills last year, Braun signed off on raising taxes by $1 billion.
Correct.
Those were the highlights of year one from the Braun administration.
And you might recall hearing all about redistricting in his State of the State address last year. Oh, wait. No, you didn't hear anything about that, but they sure did spend a lot of time on it.
So that was year one for Mike Braun. There's nothing that has been put forward in year two that you would say, this is going to make things on those issues that's going to make things better. There's absolutely nothing. He's not even trying at this point. And I think one of the biggest problems Braun has, and I remember the last meeting I had with Braun as I walked out of that room after begging him not to sign that property tax bill, and everything I told him was going to happen has happened since he did it, is I thought to myself, thank goodness I don't have to be around this guy anymore, because he is so weird and he is so awkward and he is so just uncharismatic. It is like if you got in a conversation with glue, that would be more entertaining than trying to carry on a conversation with Braun. And so the problem is, unlike a Mitch Daniels, who in the face of crisis, you could send him out there and he's going to, he's going to deliver, right? He's going to connect. He's going to resonate with people and with lawmakers. Braun doesn't have that. Nobody likes him. Everybody's pissed off at him. And he doesn't have the skill set to change people's minds just by sheer cult of personality or will or force.
So he has to go through the 3-step process. Is that what you're saying? Acknowledge the mistake, apologize, and change behavior.
Oh, and by the way, for all these people, right? Because what did I say when the property tax bill went down? I said, well, these people, I'm done. Y'all can handle it going forward and all this. We got this. How's it going?
Right. There's an ace up the sleeve, right?
Yeah, I said.
That's what we were told.
I said, y'all are going to have somebody else to bitch at this year because all I got for trying to help, all I got for getting further than anybody had gotten in 20 years on property taxes was grief from people. So I said, I'm done. And all these conservative people, we're meeting with him. He's telling us that there's more to come. It's year two. We're coming back for more. Ace up the sleeve.
Sure.
How's that going?
Right. Where's that bill?
I want all those people to get bitched at this year because they said they had it and it was fine. So for once, people can't blame me. I'm sorry I tried. I'm sorry I tried to help. I should have never done it. And now it's somebody else's problem.
Well, for all of these people that he's saying he's going to primary, do you think they're scared? Are they nervous? I mean, he couldn't even get his own priority done.
No, they don't. No, it's a feckless, empty threat from him. There is zero chance that the overwhelming majority of those senators that are up this year are not going to get reelected. Braun has no juice. They have horrible candidate recruitment. They could send Scott Pessner, whatever his name is, out here. It ain't going to make one damn bit of difference because first of all, with the redistricting, these guys were doing what their constituents wanted. It's why they voted it down. But second of all, you would have to mobilize across the state, and the things that these people are running on, which they think redistricting is this magic bullet, it is not. If you're willing to talk about property taxes, if you're willing to talk about utility bills, if you're willing to talk about the IEDC, that might get some people's attention, but simply thinking because you didn't do what Trump wanted, when the majority of people didn't want them to do what Trump wanted, that's not going to solve anything.
Did you see that he did put out a tweet yesterday? He said data centers are important for bringing high-paying jobs to Indiana, but they can't be allowed to pass the financial burden of their electricity costs on to Hoosiers. And he's piggybacking off of something Donald Trump had said.
But the problem is your IEDC, sir, of which you are the head as the governor of Indiana, continues to, and the first action of your new IEDC board was to throw huge financial incentives at these companies coming to Indiana. Look, if these data centers were to come to these communities and say we need the resources. The data centers need us more than we need them. That's the reality of this. The data centers need Indiana more than Indiana needs the data centers. And if they were to come here and say, we're building $1 billion building, and from day one, we're paying our full 3% freight, and we are not asking for any giveaway incentives from the IEDC. That's a different conversation. Then I think people get more open to the idea of, do I have to pay more in utility bills? But we're all doing this, right? Like all of these things are easier to stomach, to understand, to have a conversation about.
Mm-hmm.
But you're giving away the farm to these people who would probably come here regardless because they need us and the natural resources that we have.
So tonight when he's giving that speech, who will he be talking to? Will he be talking directly to Hoosiers, or will he be talking to the legislators?
Well, he's going to probably just be talking to his wife and his rich, connected donor friends, because that's the only person that's going to be listening to this, right? But if you would like to hear Braun lie out of his ass for 30 minutes, we will be airing the speech tonight at 7:30 here on WIBC.
Right here on WIBC. It is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
New Year's resolutions come and go. Big Ten wins, you earn those.
Norton in the corner. Bingo!
Big Ten basketball means tougher defenses, louder buildings, and zero margin for error. Coach Darren DeVries has the Hoosiers ready for the work.
Our mindset has to be, regardless of shots falling, our defense has to keep us in the game.
Up next, IU versus Iowa, Saturday at 2. No fluff, no filler. Hoosier basketball on 93 WIBC.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesInschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
Look, there's a good chance you've been screwed so many times by Mike Braun and the Republicans in this state that you've lost some hair the past couple of years. And if you're one of those people that your hair is falling out because of the overtaxation and bad government, might I suggest a trip to We Grow Hair Indy? I made the choice 5 years ago, and every time I look in the mirror, so glad I did. Here's how this whole process works. 317-522-2995. That's the phone number, 317-522-2995. You schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang, top-notch guys. They'll take a look at what's going on the top of your head. They'll make some suggestions on how you can get your confidence back. Then it is up to you. The ball is in your court. In the meantime, you can see some other folks who have made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indy and get their confidence back by visiting WeGrowHairIndy.com, WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
It's just alcohol. Everybody drinks. You may have already heard this statement from your teen. I'm Tammy Silverman with Indiana Youth Institute. Alcohol is the substance most commonly abused by teens. Survey data shows that 2 in 10 Indiana high school students reported drinking in the past month, and more than half of Hoosier teens say it would be easy to get alcohol. How do you talk with your teen about alcohol use, especially if they see peers or adults drinking? First, understand that your child may point out contradictions in our society's views on alcohol. It's okay to acknowledge those facts. Talk with your teen about the many risks of alcohol use. During your conversation, you can both validate their views and uphold your family values. You are the first line of defense against alcohol abuse, so don't be afraid to talk to your teen. What you say has a big influence on their decision to drink or not. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids count on you.
Hey, honey, take your blood pressure medication.
Thanks, dear.
Daddy, are you going to the hospital again?
No, son. Bad medication from a dishonest website got me sick. Now we only use sites approved by NABP or that end in .pharmacy, so we know they're safe.
Learn more about the new .pharmacy domain and ordering medications safely online at safe.pharmacy, a public service from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
Hey, great news for you, Casey.
What's that?
Oh my goodness, this is going to change your life forever.
Is it?
Your government is plowing forward with very important legislation.
Oh, tell me more. Say more words. What do we have?
I get that as we laid out in the last segment, there's all these things that are crushing your ability to live an affordable life, the property taxes, the utility bills. I mean, we got the massive corruption with the IEDC. You got the Medicaid that's got hundreds of millions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, all of those things are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll get to those eventually.
Sure.
But right now, we have very, very, very important stuff that we are trudging forward with, and that is making the tenderloin the state sandwich.
Yeah, so the Indiana senators, they voted to move that bill forward, and it would make the breaded pork tenderloin the official state sandwich. Guess what? It passed 37-11. And I'm so curious, who are the ones who voted no? Oh, you know who said no thanks. You've got Mishler and Glick and Garten and Freeman and Kreider and Becker. Some people, they don't like this idea.
Well, it's a joke, and these people are jokes. Our state government, these local governments, these people are jokes.
Mm-hmm.
All of these super pressing issues in front of them, and they're focused on a damn sandwich.
Yeah, so that bill was first written and introduced by Senator Andy Zay of Huntington. Of course, he's not there anymore.
That's right. He got a sweetheart job at the IEDC, running the IEDC.
He was like, let's pay attention to the pork tenderloin sandwich. Nah, I'm out of here. See you later.
I'll have to go find the message.
Mhm.
Remember that one senator or that one House member a couple of years ago sent me that very mean message or very early in the morning doing who knows what because he was very upset that we were talking about this sandwich. This is how long they've been on the sandwich, right?
Mhm.
And remember that. I think you were here when that happened, that at 1:30 in the morning, some House rep, and maybe I'll pull that up later on in the program and do the dramatic reading of that because I have some speculations on what that person was doing because I don't think I've ever met this person before in my entire life. Thank you for listening. But these people are clowns.
Yeah.
They're universally clowns that this is what they waste their time on.
Is it really that important? And what about the beef farmers? They're losing out, right? And many people are arguing that the Italian beef sandwich is very popular in northern Indiana.
And again, keep in mind, the guy who sponsored the bill isn't there anymore because of all the people in our state, 7 million people. Mike Braun thought some super connected senator who has been partly in charge while all these things have been going wrong in our state. He thought he was the best guy to oversee utilities in the state of Indiana, so he's not even there anymore.
Wouldn't it be something if tonight for the State of the State address, Braun opens up by holding up a big pork tenderloin sandwich, taking a bite out of it and saying, well, we got something important done.
And this is why they do this, to try to distract people, because it does get media attention, and it does get people that cover it. And what they want to do is they want to distract you from the complete inaction, the complete bastardization of public policy that these people pull on a regular, consistent basis, and they invent things to do because they won't solve the real problems because they're not willing to take on the special interest groups that dominate whatever that particular discussion is. All right, real quick, we had an update on this. Remember yesterday we started the show with it yesterday, in fact. Timothy Boosfield, actor, from Field of Dreams, 30-something, West Wing.
Yep, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, he's been in all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
He was missing and it has a warrant for his arrest related to inappropriate contact with young children on the set of a television show that he was a part of a couple of years ago.
He turned himself in.
And now he's been found. He's missing for like 3 days. The marshals were supposedly involved. And now he has turned himself in. And here is Timothy Boosfield talking about why he was missing.
Hi, everybody. It's Tim. I'm sure most of you know that are watching this that I was ordered to come to Albuquerque. I'm here now. I got the call Friday night. I had to get a lawyer. Saturday, I got in a car. I drove 2,000 miles to Albuquerque. I'm going to confront these lies. They're horrible. They're all lies. And I did not do anything to those little boys. And I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it with a great team. And I'm going to be exonerated. I know I am, because this is all so wrong and all lies. So hang in there, and hopefully I'm out real soon, and back to work. And I love everybody for supporting me. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a couple questions about this. One, initially this thing was given to police and they didn't do anything with it, and they basically dismissed the claim. And then something came back to them where they said, okay, now we have enough to get a warrant for this guy. I want to know what that is, because what new evidence surfaced? Because this was stuff from allegations from years ago.
Well, there was a lawyer that Warner Brothers had hired to do an independent investigation. And she did, and she said she could find no proof that he acted inappropriately.
Okay, the second part of this is, it is not uncommon for somebody, especially if they live in another state or whatever, and look, the guy's, I'm sure, very wealthy. He has access to attorneys, whatever, to be able to arrange a time to turn yourself in. And maybe the guy's like me, maybe has a fear of flying, that's not uncommon. Say, hey, I'm going to have to drive there. I anticipate being there on such and such a day. I will gladly turn myself in. I'll see you then. But they said he was missing. Like, they couldn't find him. They had the marshals involved.
Right, they had the U.S. Marshals looking for him.
So I need somebody to square that with me, too. Like, if you are
His wife didn't know where he was?
Well, if you're planning on turning yourself in, wouldn't you? They said, okay, Mr. Boosfield has arranged to turn himself in such and such a time, blah, 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 whatever. But that doesn't appear to have happened here, or that didn't get relayed to the point where the marshals were supposedly involved in it. So I have so many questions about this, and I don't know what to believe right now.
So his attorney, his civil attorney, says that these accusations are stemming from revenge.
Well, these kids supposedly got dismissed from the program, and that's what they're saying. These allegations, basically, they're trying to insinuate the mother is fueling this, right? Which it very well could be, and we have no idea what the evidence is. We have, these things happen all the time. See Duke Lacrosse, right, where these allegations are totally just made up. So everybody has to keep an open mind on this. But it's like on both sides of the aisle, I have questions like, okay, one, it's kind of weird that you just disappeared and they claim they didn't know where you were.
Couldn't find you, right?
That's weird. But also, the police looked at this initially and said, everybody go home. What has changed since that initial investigation?
But if your name is breaking in the news like that,
well, it's not like you don't know, right?
Right. You would be like, you've got a phone on you. Come on.
Yeah. So there's so many things that have to get cleared up here. All right. Jim Merritt will be with us coming up next. We're going to talk about State of the State is tonight. We're going to what if anything can Braun do to try to get the public back in his good graces?
He joins us next on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says he doesn't want them there at all. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending now at 9:30. As protests continue in Minneapolis, 1 week after the shooting death of 37-year-old Renee Good by an ICE agent, city leaders have formally denounced federal immigration authorities and are calling for the removal from the region. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey was asked on Fox and Friends this morning if he supports abolishing the agency.
I do not support abolishing ICE. However, I absolutely oppose the way
that this administration is conducting themselves with us.
The city of Minneapolis is joining the states of Minnesota and Illinois in suing the federal government over the law enforcement operations, which local officials say have been marked by racial profiling and excessive force. Greenland and Denmark are pushing back against new threats from the U.S.
Greenland's prime minister said, if we have to choose between the U.S. and Denmark, we choose Denmark, NATO, the EU. Local media is reporting Denmark is sending military equipment and advanced troops to Greenland, which is preparing for a larger Danish army presence. Denmark's prime minister, noting the challenges of the situation, says the hardest part may still be ahead of us. The Trump administration says it's interested in Greenland for its strategic and economic value.
Fox's Greg Paulcott reporting, and a Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President J.D. Vance has been put on administrative leave after being accused of leaking sensitive information. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC is brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. Stocks falling for a second day. The Dow's down 176 points, 49,191. The S&P 500 also in the red, 32 points. It's at 6,963. And the NASDAQ down 160 points to 25,741. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Hammer and Nigel here for Premier Weight Loss Indy, PWLindy.com, 2 different locations. And look, everybody is somewhere different in their health journey. People aren't the same, and treatments should not be the same. This is why I love Premier Weight Loss Indy. It's an in-person visit. You're going to get a consultation with a professional, and they will customize a plan specifically for you. Again, no plans are the same because people are not the same. So if you really want to take your health to the next level this year, start by going online to PWLindy.com. I lost a bunch of weight of my own, but then I hit a plateau and I couldn't lose anymore. I reached out for help. Premier Weight Loss Indy jumped in the mix, and now I'm down 16 additional pounds in 2 months. PWLindy.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Take care of your health.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings. January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking at 8. Or January 31st, Holiday Inn Express Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
What say we start that new year with a new car at Tom Roush Lincoln? Hurry in for the 8-9-10 deal. Get $8,000 off new Nautilus or $9,000 off new Corsair. Or how about $10,000 off Lincoln Aviator? The 8-9-10 deal right now at Tom Roush Lincoln. Come get a great deal on all 3 from Tom Roush, where our family served yours since 1972.
Corsair stock number L25566, MSRP 55340. Nautilus stock number L26030, MSRP 62705. Aviator stock number L25384, MSRP 79450. See dealer for complete offer details.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Stop smoking with hypnosis. Only $59.99 guaranteed or your money back. Stop smoking with hypnosis Hypnosis, guaranteed with no irritability and no cravings. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. In addition, use Hypnosis to lose all the weight and destroy unwanted cravings. Hypnosis programs are Thursday, January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss hypnosis at 5:30, stop smoking hypnosis 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss hypnosis 11 a.m., stop smoking hypnosis at 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
What is the most important thing that'll help you maintain your same lifestyle in retirement? Here's the answer. It's income. That's going to help you maintain your same lifestyle in retirement. When you have a consistent and steady stream of income, it enables you to do all the things you want to do in retirement. Hey, what's going on? It's Hammer and Nigel. And you may not realize it, but there are strategies that could give you a 20% upfront bonus, a strong return that's averaged nearly 10% a year, and it's backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world.
Think of it as creating your own personal pension. Learn more from the retirement guy that we trust, Bill Demery, right here in Indy. Call 317-805-4716. That's 317-805-4716. 317-805-4716 or visit yourretirementguy.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Any heating and air conditioning problem you've got, we can take care of you. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
So the state of the state is tonight. Does it make any difference? Let's find out. 93 WIBC. It's Kendall and Casey show. Look who it is. Our old pal, 30 years in the Indiana Senate, the great Jim Merritt. Hello.
Robert.
All right, so the state of the state is tonight. Braun's going to get up and give a big speech. I maintain, I think these guys being the General Assembly, loathe him so much. I think the public loathes him so much. I mean, politically, I think he's a dead man walking. What say you?
It's going to be a really interesting evening tonight because he has an opportunity to reset the table. 2025 was a difficult year with a kind of a not a bad budget, but from April, I talked about the legislature and the governor should have been patient and left that budget in April with that bad economic forecast, had some nimbleness, had some patience, and leave it, and then come back in mid-June, or almost July, when the next budget, this budget, would start, and by then that the tariffs, the stock market, taxes, and everything from the federal government that were casting a shadow over everything would have played out, and we wouldn't have such a draconian budget here. And so tonight, it's his opportunity to reset the table or in his mind, set the table for 2026. What he needs to happen, and as we know, short sessions, there's really nothing gets done.
But you hit the nail on the head, Jim. It's short session. There's no major thing that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money really per se to be. Now, there's always money to be spent, right? But not in the sense of it's not a budget year.
Yeah.
What can he do that people go, we're all good. That first year, it's all fine.
I think that's why we're all waiting. I think we're all waiting to see what he says, because it's so difficult. And governors, when in their first budget session, and it was 2025 for Governor Braun, it makes a real big difference if you come away from your first budget session with the table set for your 4-year term, because without a budget, something new to talk about, it's so difficult to work from behind, and that's what he's doing.
Jim Merritt, our guest, talking about the state of the state, which is tonight. Were you ever swayed by a state of the state? You were there 30 years. Somebody gave some rousing speech, and you said, well, hot dang, I was wrong the whole time.
No, probably a wow factor was when Evan Bayh came in and wanted to put a hospital tax back in the 90s. And this is the fellow who campaigned that everything's fine and we didn't need to raise taxes. Probably no one remembers that, but Evan Bayh, as governor, wanted to put a hospital tax.
Democrat was dishonest about raising taxes? No way.
And so, I remember Mitch Daniels with his first, what I would call budget state of the state, and that was a humdinger because he was a change agent, and he did have he did have a certain amount of.
Mitch Daniels had a lot of political capital behind him because the Republicans needed him. You guys weren't the supermajority you are today. He had juice.
Yeah, exactly. He had the juice. He had the energy, and that's what a first budget for a governor gives you. And his state of the state, when Mitch came across and said he wanted all these reforms, the legislature followed through on many of those. Now, with Governor Braun tonight, I'm not sure what kind of political capital he has left because of everything that happened in 2025.
Wait, let me ask you about that, because not only did he fail on his signature issue, but now he pissed all these guys off during redistricting. Who's going to hear him and go, yeah, let's help him out?
And also you see these committee chairmen who are not betrothed or not connected to the governor because of one thing or another that happened 2025, and they're not really willing to come along. And we saw Representative Chairman Pressel, talk about all the NDOT programs and projects that they're putting on hold.
Garbage.
Yeah,
NDOT garbage is what you're looking for, because most things NDOT do turn to garbage.
Well, and right now, Representative Pressel really isn't willing to go along, it sounds like.
Jim Merritt is our guest. We're talking about the state of the state, which is tonight. Does there come a point with a politician now? It's pretty rare, right? Like that governors don't get reelected if they run. I'm trying to think of the ones in your term. Obviously, you had Bayh, who was reelected, or your terms, plural. You had Bayh, who was reelected. You had O'Bannon, who likely would have been reelected had he not passed away. Daniels, reelected. Pence didn't run for a second term. Holcomb. In fact, I don't think there's ever been a governor run for a second term and lose. Yeah. But I feel like Braun's in sort of no man's land right now, where unless he gets it together really quick, he's in big trouble.
Yes, and when the foundation for a governor is local government, and also the legislature, and the boots on the ground, the heart and soul of the Republican Party, and everything that happened in 2025 really didn't bolster his status in the state of Indiana, and that's what you really need when you're talking about running for re-election in 2028. And so tonight he can reestablish his bona fides and really get after what he needs to do for the next couple of years to reestablish himself for re-election in 2028.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, Jim Merritt, our guest, 30 years in the Indiana Senate, state of state tonight. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's the most important thing, 1, it doesn't matter at all. Where do you put the state of the state tonight for Braun?
I think it's 10.
Oh, wow.
Because frankly, if you're governor, and Mitch Daniels used to have an hourglass on his desk, and every day you need to reestablish, I think it's the utmost importance for the governor, not only for the voter, not only for the Republican Party, but for the media to change the conversation from. What we've been talking about and what most media heads have been talking about is redistricting and also, a budget that really raises questions on where we're going in the state of Indiana.
How much for a governor is just their own personality and how much people want to kind of be around them? Like Mitch Daniels always seemed like a dude who you'd want to kind of hang out with, like just a cool guy, right? Like he rode motorcycles, he played cards, very smart, right? You knew he was serious about whatever he was engaging in. Like last year, I'm not kidding when I said this, when I had the final meeting with Braun, I left there and I said, thank goodness I don't have to deal with this guy anymore. He's aloof. He comes off like he doesn't connect with people. It's awkward to have to engage in conversation with him. How much of that matters when you're trying to drive public policy?
Well, you know, you walk into the State House when Governor Daniels was running the state, and you'd see him talking to one of the housekeepers, one of the janitors, and asking him about something. And then I find out just a little later, because I was around there a lot, he had taken an idea from the custodian and that the custodian thought would be a good change, and he took it and he installed it. And so you need somebody that is really in the mortar and as governor and detail oriented. Mitch Daniels worked with interns on ideas and projects. And so, when I see that and many other legislators see that, you know they're committed. And you know that he parks in the number one spot out in the parking lot. And a lot of governors get dropped off at the door on Capitol Avenue and then run into the side door of the State House, governor's office, and don't see anybody. But you would see Mitch Daniels walking around, and I think that makes a big difference. And I would suggest to the people in room 206 in the governor's office that Braun be relatable and talk to people in the building, because it makes a big difference.
Find him on Twitter at Jim_Merritt. Merritt in the Morning is the podcast, YouTube as well as Facebook. Thank you,
Robert.
Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. Now through February 1st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Guys and ladies, you made New Year's resolutions to get back in shape. Want real results in 2026?
Go to Centergen X and Low T Center for a free men's TRT test and $200 off the women's hormone test. GetMyHealthFix.com.
Join me January 24th as we sip some bourbon and talk about how we win the midterms. Trump, 1 year later, the Red Tie Gala, the highs of the last year, the lows of the last year, and how we win the midterms. We're going to drink great bourbon, eat great food, laugh a lot. Come join me January 24th. 2026, downtown Indianapolis at the Hyatt Regency. Trump 1 year later with me, Tony Katz. Go to tickets.tonykatz.com, tickets.tonykatz.com, or get your tickets right now at WIBC.com and join me for some great bourbon January 24th.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Celebrate in red, white, and blue with Hammer and Nigel at Woodland Bowl January 16th. They're live at 3 and bowling kicks off at 6:30. Go to WIBC.com for your chance to win tickets to the sold-out Red, White, and Bowl presented by Jack Daniels and benefiting the Bowlers to Veterans link.
Well, in this case, it's the Democrats that are leading, and I don't see a single Republican on here.
It's kind of weird, huh?
It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. So there is a new letter that went out, op-ed, for lack of a better term. Citizens owe Indianapolis answers on LEAP water plan, and it is these Democrat members of this Indianapolis City County Council demanding answers and transparency on Citizens Energy Group's plan to pump 25 million gallons of water per day to the LEAP district in Boone County. So, of course, the LEAP district is this fantasy island thing that Eric Holcomb drew up in which gajillions of dollars of your money is being taken and given to this one small area in Lebanon to facilitate mega corporations, some of the richest, most powerful people in the world, Eli Lilly, Facebook, to come. And thus far, it's been one dumpster fire after another, including that they don't have enough water for the district. So the state, of course, is not going to allow this to fail. And their plan now is to pump 25 million gallons of water a day out of Eagle Creek into and run that to Boone County. One of the major issues is they're going to have to run this pipeline through all these people's yards to get it there.
Possible use of eminent domain.
And many of these people are in rural areas, and they've said, look, we need a utility of some sort. If we're allowed to tap into this thing, because, you know, it should be for the public good, right? The government shouldn't just exist to serve mega corporations who provide no tangible benefit whatsoever that I can see outside of helping themselves in a very select area. If we can tap into this, we won't object to this. Allow us to tap into this water that will help us, and we won't object to you coming through our property, whatever. You know what they said? Kiss our ass.
He said, nope, can't do that.
Thousands of people
We could never allow that.
Could benefit using a fraction of the resources that Facebook and or Meta and Eli Lilly are going to use. And the state of Indiana told those people to kiss off.
And do you see how much it's going to cost? $1 billion. To supply the water for the LEAP project.
And this is another example of the state of Indiana through this shadow, corrupt, rotten Indiana Economic Development Corporation in which they are taking money from you, a poor and middle class person. They are providing huge incentives, huge allocations of resources and money to these select mega corporations. And that is not a good use of taxpayer money.
It's very heavy-handed because you've got decisions that are being made without real public involvement. It's your government saying, this is what we're doing, this is what's happening. And when you say, well, can I have a little piece? No.
And so these Indianapolis, these Democrat city county council members have written this letter demanding information and transparency about this whole process. And look, I don't know. You know, it's very rare I say I don't know what to say at this point. But the corruption, the crony capitalism, they don't even hide it anymore. Like, and now you're talking about.
Right. It's like I said, heavy-handed. They're just doing it.
If something goes wrong with this, because they're steamrolling this, they're fast-tracking this, they're not going through the normal processes with this stuff. If something goes wrong with this and it involves Eagle Creek Reservoir, you're talking potentially irreversible damage. And again, it'd be one thing if we were doing it to say, we're going to serve thousands of central Indiana customers who desperately need access to utility, and we're going to help them. Okay, worthwhile conversation, right? But we're not doing that. In fact, we are denying those people the ability to use the resources who desperately need it, and we are doing this exclusively for some of the richest, most powerful corporations in the world.
Yeah, it does come at a cost, and right now the cost is, well, damage potentially to the environment and also public trust.
All right, so let's take a break. When we come back, producer Jason Dozier, formerly the producer for Tony's Midday Show, he's going to be back with us. Our final segment, we sent him down to Du Bois County to find out how the locals were feeling down there and the real-world impact of Mike Braun's pet Mid-States Corridor project, which could potentially make Mike Braun millions of dollars, by the way. And a new villain emerges in today's conversation.
Yes.
Todd Rokita has taken a lot of these fine, upstanding individuals to court because, well, nothing says heavy-handed government like Todd Rokita.
All right, Jason joins us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Time now for the Retirement Report with Casey Weed. Megan Mozak here with financial advisor Casey Weed, founder and CEO of Howard Bailey Financial. The big question for many of our listeners, Casey, as they approach retirement is, will I be okay in retirement? How do you help someone figure out if they've saved enough to be comfortable?
Well, Megan, there are many risks to your money, like market risk, healthcare costs, and taxes in retirement. Many people worry if they've saved enough. Strategies to help preserve your wealth can be more important than the dollar amount you actually saved for retirement. An analysis of your situation can help you get clarity today. If you're worried if you'll be okay in retirement, you probably don't have a plan. You might not even know what I mean when I talk about a retirement plan, but we have a great resource to help our listeners today. We call it the Retire with Purpose Toolkit, and you can get it when you call or text KIT to 888-494-5004. My team helped put this together just for you, and it's complimentary. The center of it is a copy of my latest book, Job Optional. It has chapters on everything from investments to Social Security to income planning. We also include guides on other big topics like long-term care and strategies for helping reduce your taxes. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, just call or text KIT to 888-494-5004. That's 888-494-5004.
Take advantage of this offer and get your Retire with Purpose Toolkit today. Like Casey said, just text KIT to 888-494-5004. The team at Howard Bailey Financial will get your Retire with Purpose Toolkit to you right away. So just call or text KIT to 888-494-5004.
Howard Bailey Securities LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation. Firm does not provide tax services.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year, when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
In 2 minutes from the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, how cold will it get today? And when and where will we see snow start to fall? Who's making a run at a U.S. House seat? Who's addressing the state later on tonight? And can the Pacers continue their winning ways? Those stories and more coming up after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark may tell Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio at a meeting this hour in Washington. They don't want the U.S. to take over the Danish territory, but President Trump keeps insisting. In a Truth Social post, Fox's Chris Foster reads,
NATO becomes far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the United States. Anything less than that is unacceptable. He also writes,
It is vital for the Golden Dome that we are building. That's the missile defense system the Pentagon is developing. The post comes a day after Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen said, Greenland will not be part of the USA. We choose the Greenland we know today, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. And the president's response to reporters,
I disagree with him. I don't know who he is, don't know anything about him, but that's going to be a big problem for him.
Well, the president is also warning Iran over a deadly crackdown on protests that now includes fast trials and an execution reportedly today. He tells CBS News.
When they start killing thousands of people and now you're telling me about hanging, we'll see how that works out for them. It's not going to work out good.
As he considers possible military action, Iran could consider retaliation. So Fox has learned some U.S. military personnel have been told to leave bases in the Middle East. It's been a week now since the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Oh, no. Protesters who call that murder continued last night, clashing with federal agents. Fox's Matt Finn has been there watching.
Federal officers used crowd control tactics like tear gas and pepper balls. Now, also yesterday, protesters surrounded federal officers as they were taking people into custody in a Minneapolis neighborhood. Now, Minneapolis police tell Fox they've arrested 31 protesters since Renee Good's death.
Homeland Security maintains Good was interfering with ICE operations and drove toward an officer. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, a Democrat, has demanded ICE get the bleep out of his city. He tells Fox and Friends they are acting unconstitutionally in his city. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Winter elements coming back. Cloudy and 40. Will be cloudy all day with the high towards 50. From Jarrett Lewis, it's 10:02. The cold is back. Temperatures will be dropping today, and snow showers will pop up here and there. Northwest winds will pick up as well, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour, making it feel even colder.
We're forecasting lows in the teens tonight, and combined with the wind chills may be near zero tomorrow when you wake up. So that'll definitely be a bit of a shock to the system compared to the 50 degrees we had yesterday and the 45 degrees we have right now here in the India.
Matt Eckhoff says another weak system could bring light snow Thursday night into Friday, with areas picking up 1 to 2 inches before the cold air moves back in. Law enforcement leaders in Marion County are trying to sort through issues of jail overcrowding and budget constraints. Here's John Herrick.
Marion County Sheriff Kerry Forrestall said Monday they have almost 200 inmates waiting to be picked up by the State Department of Correction, while ICE has detainees on holds waiting to be picked up in Marion County. Indy FOP President Rick Snyder said Tuesday that those agencies need to be quicker about picking up their inmates, while there's also a brand new jail that has roughly 500 or more beds available than are being used. So Snyder says they need to be put to use. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Democratic State Senator J.D. Ford is announcing his candidacy for the U.S. House.
I decided to run to be your representative in the United States Congress. I'm asking you to help me bring that fight to Washington because our leaders are out of control.
That's a video he posted today, and he officially filed for candidacy today. This will set up a potential challenge against incumbent Republican Representative Victoria Sparks in Indiana's 5th Congressional District. Governor Mike Braun is preparing to deliver his State of the State tonight, marking the end of his first year in office. During the year, he proposed changes to property taxes and tighter state spending. His address will cover the state's budget, economic growth, and other priorities for the coming year. You can listen to that speech live right here on 93 WIBC at 7:30. Also tonight, the Indiana Pacers are on the court. Forward Jarris Walker has been playing particularly well over the team's current 3-game win streak.
I would say just being more consistent and just trusting my instincts, trusting my game, not overthinking it, just playing basketball, just keeping it simple.
The Pacers face the Toronto Raptors this evening at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tip-off is at 7. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace too strict.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So the residents in the governor's home county are outraged at him, but it's another high-profile politician that's doing the dirty work. 93 WIBC. It's Kendall Casey Show. Back once again with producer Jason Dozier. You know him as the former producer of the Tony Katz Midday Show. And of course, we've been talking a lot about this Mid-States Corridor project, this multi-billion-dollar proposal to connect I-64 to 69 in southern Indiana, running through the heart of the governor's home county, Du Bois County. And outrage over this project that spurred a poll that showed 62% of the people in the governor's home county disapprove of the job that he is doing. And so we sent producer Jason down to Du Bois County, interviewed a whole bunch of people at how they were feeling about this. And Jason, this is like, when I was first told about this story, I'm hearing this story told to me, and I'm like, this stuff can't be true. And the more I looked into it, the more it was true. And maybe the most interesting thing about this is these people are just trying to hang on to their way of life. They're trying to save taxpayers' money. They're saying this road serves no purpose for the community. It really, to them, doesn't better anybody other than the trucking distribution people, of which Mike Braun made a gajillion dollars in the distribution industry. And for it now, they've been taken to court by supposed man of the people. You know, he's always talking about how he's fighting for you. Well, Todd Rokita, the Attorney General for the state of Indiana, is taking these people to court.
165 residents of Jasper were taken to court by Todd Rokita. The way this was set up was the surveyors for the surveying company that is coming out to do the surveys, they were already sending people out onto the farms, doing the surveys, drilling holes, doing different things, taking soil samples. And
so they were actually they were like manipulating these people's land, and they were doing stuff to their land.
They just showed up and started doing it. So of course these folks said, no, you cannot do this. There is a law that you're apparently not aware of, a code that says the state can come onto your property, but they must give a 5-day notice.
They must tell you we're coming, which makes sense. If you have random people just drilling on your property, you can't do that.
They had no idea. It's like they came down to the county and just started spreading out, and farmers were calling each other, what's going on here? Being invaded. So they threatened to call the sheriff. So the surveyors left. The surveyors they're just doing their job, just like we're just doing their job. So They left. They didn't want any part of that. But then they came back. They were ordered back by the governor. Well, I can't say by the governor. They were ordered back and said, look, we were told to come do our job, and if you got a problem with it, go ahead and call the sheriff. But
they were ordered by the government, of which Mike Braun is in control of the government.
Okay, I'm just letting you say that, not me say that. Okay.
Well, I mean, was this last year, right? I mean, this was...
Yes. I'm not sure the exact date. You can go onto the Du Bois County Free Press newspaper, and there is a link that will give you all this information, the court proceedings and everything. So these 165 folks sent a letter, a cease and desist letter, to tell the state you cannot come onto our property. Well, so the surveyors said, if you don't let us on the property, the state will sue you. And they said, well, bring it on, sue us. So Rokita said, all right. Don't call my bluff. And he sued them. So he took 165 hardworking farmers and residents to court.
Wait. I must have missed something here, because Rokita's always sending out the press releases. He's a man of the people, and he's fighting for you, and he's on your side. And he's suing 165 people?
And every single one of those 165 people showed up to court, along with another 40, 50, or 100 people that were in support. And they basically packed the court. NDOT was there. The state was there. Everybody that was anybody representing the state was there. And basically what it came down to were the farmers' pleas were just follow the law. Don't just come on our property, tear it up, ruin our crops. We don't even know you're out there. And so the judge had to rule in favor of the state, because you cannot prevent the state from coming onto your property.
Even if they break the law?
The only law they were breaking technically was not giving the 5-day notice. And that's what but they caught the farmers off. If you have somebody walking around your backyard
Right.
You're concerned. Okay, they can explain what
They're
they
lucky
want.
somebody to get shot or something.
But because they knew, of course, that this was for the mid-state corridor, they were trying to fight it. So the judge, of course, ruled in favor of the state and basically asked the farmers, and is it okay that just, like if they just give the 5-day letter, are you okay with that? And they say, yeah, we're fine with that. We just, if they're going to go through this, then we're going to go through proper channels, and the state needs to do their job.
Like, that is so rude to think you can just do whatever you want, but it's the government all the time. And I'm so amazed that man of the people, Todd Rokita, would be okay with that.
So the very next day, court ended. The very next day, they were back on. They were back down. The surveyors were down there. Well, obviously, they hadn't given 5 days' notice. This gentleman named Bob Pfister. And I interviewed Bob, but I did not know Bob was involved in this part of it until afterwards. So we're probably not going to hear from Bob, but we will hear from another farmer. But so the sheriff, so it gets even better, Rob. This is what I'm told. This is not verified facts. This is what a room full of people are staring at me and telling me to make sure I could come here and repeat. So the judge ruled in favor of the state. The very next day, they came down. They were on Bob Pfister's property, a few other farmers' property, a gentleman named, we'll get it here in a second. So they called the sheriff again, and they said, look, the judge just cleared this up. So the sheriff said, okay, we've had a call, and we're not going to be able to kick them off the property. So basically, the sheriff gave in.
Now the sheriff, this is Du Bois County, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is important because the sheriff is Tom Kleinhelter, who was the sheriff, Mike Braun's close political ally, who I believe was in a TV ad with Braun, a campaign ad. And he was facing an 80-page probable cause affidavit from state police about his misuse of the commissary money. And then once Braun became governor and appointed a new state police head, magically that all disappeared and no charges were filed. Doug Carter laid all of that out for us. So I just want to point out, if it's the sheriff of Du Bois County, that's the same guy.
Timing is everything.
Boy, that's amazing, isn't it?
That was a fight the sheriff did not want. And even if none of that had been part of it, I mean, the sheriff probably doesn't want that fight anyway. So the sheriff gave in despite the judge's ruling, and they went on the property. So Bob Pfister said, no, you're not coming on my property. And Rokita filed a notice of contempt against him. They went back to court. The judge once again said, can you please just let them? I mean, I was not there. So
Rokita sounds like an ass, doesn't he? He really seems trampling these people at any and all. I mean, we're talking about 5 days. I thought Rokita was supposed to be some great Johnny Cochran-esque F. Lee Bailey man of the law. We're talking about 5 days.
This entire transcript is available. Again, the Du Bois County Free Press, I'm told you can get it there. So basically then, to date, they're still coming on the property, including a gentleman named, I couldn't remember the name earlier, David Ring. And he's going to explain what I just told you in his own words, and you're going to hear it from the horse's mouth.
David Ring, I'm a farmer. I'm a retired school teacher, Southridge High School, and we farm west of the Huntingburg Airport. Kind of a long story. The 130-acre field are going right through the middle of it, just ruining our farm. My son noticed somebody out there driving around in side-by-sides, so we called the sheriff of Du Bois County. He sent a deputy came down and got there, and he said, I'm sorry, but I can't do anything because Todd Rokita told the Du Bois County Sheriff Department they have to stand down on anything to do with Mid-States Corridor. So I called the Jasper State Police Post here and got a trooper, explained to him what happened. And I said, there was a crop in there. And I said, they're doing some crop damage. I said, I'd like to see somebody come. He said, well, what you need to do is get an opinion and get an estimate of the damage and get a hold of an attorney and file a suit against the surveyors. I said, you don't know the code. There is a code that says you have to give them 5 days written notice. And then if they do some crop damage on the code, there's a section that explains how they're supposed to handle that. Well, these guys just come and don't ask to come on. You know, I mean, if I have to live by the code, they have to live by the code.
So they came on the property. You called the state police. They told you
they didn't have anybody available.
Nobody available.
And I live 12 miles from the state police post.
So how was this resolved?
I left and they left finally. But the thing about telling a sheriff to stand down doesn't sound right.
This is a mess.
The state police commander, Braun's cousin.
Of course. Of course he is. Oh, my gosh. Jason, this has been so awesome, you doing these interviews and really shining light to the people on what's going down there. We can't thank you enough for going down there and doing these interviews and point out once again that it's the power structure, and in this case, it's Braun and it's Rokita, and they are just putting their boot on these people. They're trampling their quality of life. They're trampling their way of living for a project that there is no perceived benefit for the people down there other than for people who just happen to be in the industry that Mike Braun made a bunch of money on.
Of all the places you could put an interstate in the state of Indiana that would help traffic, help commerce, southwestern Indiana that's just not the place for it, it doesn't seem.
And by the way, Todd, if you'd like to have a conversation about this, because Todd is big on going on other shows on WIBC and saying bad things about me. Now, he won't say my name, but everybody knows who's implying it. If Todd would like to have a conversation about this, we would be more than willing to have that conversation about why you're going up against these people and why you think this behavior is okay.
And I'll add, this is not my fight. This was just my assignment. All slings and arrows toward Rob Kendall.
Yeah. Hey, tell us where people can find you and what you're doing.
Well, they can find my books on Amazon.com.
That's right. The last time we had you on, you wrote a trilogy of books.
Right.
You now have a fourth book out.
Right, a fourth book in the trilogy.
That's right. And if I am the character in one of the books.
Right. Yeah, I added, actually, the fourth book is a prelude to the first three, to the trilogy. But you're still in there, Rob.
Oh, good. You haven't killed me off yet. That's
right.
great. So if you just put your name, Jason Dozier, Dozier, into Amazon, it'll pop right up for people.
Right. And the last time you had me on, I sold a lot of books because of that. So I really appreciate that. Not a lot of reviews, though.
That doesn't matter. Are you in for the money or the fame?
Well, I mean, it's,
leave a review. Jason Dozier, you're the best. Thank you. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Goods death rage on.
93 WIBC.
Agents used flashbangs last night.
What happens next?
The Justice Department won't open a civil rights investigation.
Happens here.
Protesters taunt officers day and night at this location.
Stay in the know.
Suspended for heckling Trump.
While you're on the go.
The president responded with a middle finger and mouthing the words F you twice.
There were a number of sudden resignations.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my good friend and all-around great Hoosier, Mark Deedle. You know, the Indianapolis real estate market is strong, but it's not easy. Now is a good time to sell only if you hire a real estate team that knows how to aggressively market your home like Mark Deedle Realty. Perhaps you're worried with a growing family that you are not going to have the room you need, that you're not going to have the needs you need, that you're not going to have what's going to make it work for you. This is where Mark Deedle comes in. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Neil in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Deedle. I already had moved and listed my old home with an agent friend for 60 days. Not happy, I decided to evaluate the Mark Deedle marketing plan, and I switched. To my relief, after about 15 days on the market, the Mark Deedle team made it happen. They sold my home as is for the price I needed. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L.com.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed, or your money back. No matter how many times you've failed in the past, this hypnosis is guaranteed to work.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I've lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
What are you waiting for? Lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Only $59.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Hypnosis Thursday, January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss hypnosis 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis at 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss hypnosis 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
So Trump is talking.
Yes, he had a lot to say yesterday. He said anything less than U.S. control of Greenland is unacceptable.
Okay, but how? This is the thing, right? And it's sort of like what we're talking about with the state, with the sandwich. Like I consider Greenland the national version of the state sandwich. Earlier we talked about how the lawmakers are so proud of themselves that they're
Breaded pork tenderloin bill passed.
Yeah, they're moving that forward. Not helping you with utility bills or property taxes or cleaning up the wholly corrupt IEDC or the gajillions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse in the Medicaid. Like none of that, right? Like their focus is the sandwich. And I feel like Greenland's the same way. Like, okay, on the surface, I would see like, wouldn't that be nice to have Greenland? I can see that. But there's all of these things that are right in front of you that are infinitely more pressing than Greenland. Also, are you going to invade Greenland? I feel like that kind of sets us on a different trajectory and territory if we start invading countries for the sole purpose of natural resources, right? Somebody who's not picking a fight with us, somebody who's not a danger to us. Like the Maduro thing, I get it. Reasonable people can disagree. Was it the right approach? Whatever. I get that. This seems kind of different, and he seems really obsessed with it.
So J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, they're going to meet with officials from Denmark and Greenland today. And the premier of Greenland, he said that they're going to stay with Denmark. And Donald Trump, he totally puts the guy down and is like, oh, I don't even know who that is.
The premier of Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the final word? That? The premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is, don't know anything about him, but that's going to be a big problem for him.
I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him.
But that's a big problem for him.
But you want their country to be a part of your country.
Yeah.
Gee, hard to believe why they aren't really just excited about becoming a part of America.
So they have announced that they would have increased military presence starting today, and they're citing growing security tensions in the Arctic.
Well, look, the reality is we could take Greenland or just about anywhere else we wanted to take. I mean, when you look, I don't know if you heard this, Casey, because I know you were under the weather, but this alleged report from the Maduro bodyguard about what the actual capture of Maduro was like and all these things he's describing, that the sound waves and stuff that the U.S. military was supposedly using and how they came in on these helicopters and how these guys basically look like cyborgs that were like, you realize we can take anything we want whenever we want to take it, and no one, not Iran, not China, nobody's going to stop us, right? But what are we accomplishing here? Like, what is the, like, okay, there's things military perspective. I get it. But aren't there ways you can accomplish that without invading a country and taking it over? I mean, the U.S. has always sort of been like on the high ground, especially in a 20th century onward fashion of don't mess with us, we don't mess with you. Don't mess with our allies, we don't mess with you. Leave us alone, we leave you alone type of thing, right? And then if we have to get involved, then we do. But I don't think Greenland or Denmark is in any way agitating the United States. I don't think they're siding with international terrorists. I don't think they're, becoming China's best friend. If somebody can show me where they are, or they're siding with the Russians, or whatever, right? If somebody can point me to that, okay, I'll hear it out. But what is the imminent threat from Greenland to not only us but our allies, that we're going to take over a country?
And you've got Donald Trump saying that it's going to be a big problem for them.
Yeah, and again, how about you focus on the price of stuff? Like, is that too damn much to ask that you just do the stuff you campaigned on? which is affordability of living. You want to know why you're going to lose the midterms? That's why. Because you haven't delivered on your signature issue, and you're more focused on, you put more priority on taking over Greenland than you have the affordability of living for regular people.
He is focusing a lot on different global initiatives. Speaking of tensions, let's talk about what's going on with Iran and U.S. now withdrawing some personnel from military bases in the Middle East. And he is telling the Iranian regime to show humility and not kill their demonstrators.
Do you have a message for the leaders currently of Iran?
Yeah, the message is they've got to show humanity. They've got a big problem, and I hope they're not going to be killing people. And I'm going to have a report very soon. It would seem to me that they have been badly misbehaving, but that is not confirmed.
Okay, so they're saying, Iran's saying that U.S. bases are going to be attacked if U.S. strikes Iran.
Well, and then again, it comes back to, and there does appear to be momentum going with these protesters, which is great. If they're organically rising up for their own freedom, that's wonderful. There are probably ways we can help them. But unlike Venezuela, where you come in, allegedly 20, 20 guys come in and take over, and you take out the dictator. This is going to be a way more involved process.
Mm-hmm.
And once the regime is toppled, if indeed it is, the power vacuum on that and the hell on earth that could be unleashed could make ISIS look like Mary Poppins.
So
they better be very ready for that, because that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's that completely different ball game. Now, you've got Reuters reporting that their government over there does not appear to be close to collapse. And you're hearing reports coming out saying that the death toll could be in the thousands, 2,600, 3,000. You have no idea, though, because it's a total communication blackout.
Well, that's the problem, right? You get bits and pieces, you get inaccurate information. Not that anybody's trying to do anything malicious, but when you have a country, much like a North Korea, where everything is just largely shut off. And again, I don't think people quite understand the Iranian landscape, like as in the physical topography of Iran and the countries that border Iran, and the idea of getting in there and getting out of there. Like, this is not some easy mission we're talking about here. The idea of toppling this government from a military perspective, I would hope that we would not attempt to do that. And look, if this thing happens organically and there's some way we can provide some level of aid to these people, provided you know who's coming in next, because that's the big problem with us. We really don't ever seem to know who's coming in next, and oftentimes next is as bad or worse as what was already there.
Correct. And you've got Iran asking countries like Saudi Arabia and Turkey to stop the U.S. from doing anything. Now, let's move on to what Donald Trump had to say about Jerome Powell. He called him a jerk, incompetent, and crooked.
Sir, Jamie Dimon said today that it's not a great idea to be chipping away at the Fed's independence. Do you think Jamie Dimon's wrong about that?
Yeah, I think it's fine what I'm doing. We have a bad Fed person. He was extended by Biden. And, yeah, I think he's wrong. I think it's wrong. He's done a bad job. We should have lower rates. Jamie Dimon probably wants higher rates. Maybe he makes more money that way.
So Trump was at a Michigan event. He was in Detroit, and he said that Jerome Powell would be gone soon. Called him a jerk.
This is getting tiresome, right? And it doesn't mean Powell is a great guy. Doesn't mean I'm a fan of his. But the idea of the trillions of dollars that Trump himself and his administration wasted during COVID, the hundreds of billions that have definitively been proven that went to nothing but waste and fraud and abuse and hucksters and liars and people like the government in Minnesota, that dwarfs anything that would have happened with the revamping or the renovating of the Federal Reserve. And this idea that they feign some sort of outrage now, where they were handing money out like it was candy, going, here, catch, during COVID, the hypocrisy of these people. And the idea that the president of the United States is trying to intimidate and bully the head of the Federal Reserve. Now, my opinion, shouldn't have been a Federal Reserve. We laid that out yesterday with Milton Friedman. But the reality is it exists, and that is the chosen policy of this country. The idea that the President of the United States, through potential criminal indictment, is threatening and bullying the head of the Federal Reserve it's ludicrous, and every American should be outraged over this. And, dude, if you want a better economy, if you want things to be more affordable, start putting policies out that are going to make that happen.
Don't you think the criminal indictment is making things worse? Makes it look worse for Trump.
Well, it's very similar. Now, Braun didn't threaten criminal behavior against these people, but what did Braun do during redistricting? Oh, if you don't do this, then fill in the blank, right? There were a bevy of threats that he leveled against them. If you don't do this thing that I'm demanding, then I'm going to whatever. Well, Trump's obviously taking it to a different level than Braun did when he's talking about criminally indicting someone. We're talking about the President of the United States trying to manipulate the economy, just like he did during COVID, by the way. How did that go? How did throwing $5 trillion into the economy and getting Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve to cut the interest rates so you could get a home at 2%, how did that work out for you the last time?
Made things a little bit more expensive.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. A select group of people, every time we cut these interest rates, the tippy-top people get out way better than the average people. Money should have meaning. Money should have value. When you put your money in a savings account right now, what's it do? It's worth nothing because our money is meaningless. And Trump is proposing to do it again to cover up policy positions that he has taken, in particular these tariffs, because they're having a negative effect on the economy, and he doesn't want to feel the negative effects of the economy. So now we're reaching a new level, a new ball game. And I know we got to get to the news, and if I don't get to the news, Jarrett Lewis is going to come in here, and it's going to be a new ball game. But everyone should be outraged over this because Trump doesn't give a damn about wasteful spending. He doesn't care about grandiose or excess in the government. See this ballroom that he's obsessed with. He's trying to punish Jerome Powell because he won't do what he wants on interest rates.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Wanting to limit what they can do. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's 10:32 now. Some Democratic lawmakers are calling for funding and resources to be pulled from ICE in the wake of an agent shooting and killing a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis last week. Congress is facing a deadline at the end of the month to pass government funding to avoid a shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Democrats are playing political games and tells Fox America's Newsroom that ICE plays an important role in protecting the American people.
Remember what ICE stands for. It's Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are enforcing the law. They are apprehending the dangerous criminals who were allowed into our country.
Democrats, however, argue ICE has been abusing its power during a nationwide mass deportation effort and must be held accountable. Thousands of protesters continue to clash with government forces across Iran. Fox's Trey Yingst has more from Tel Aviv.
We know with smaller demonstrations ongoing amid a brutal government crackdown, protesters are renewing their calls for international support. Fox News spoke with a student demonstrator who just left Iran on a commercial flight. We've altered his voice to protect his identity.
There was like 20 or 30 militias and motorcycles parked in front of us with like 200 meters away. They just took a shotgun and then they just shooted. And the next thing I knew was the pellets started hitting my chest.
These stories of brutality are not unique, and there are concerns that Iran will begin to execute some of the demonstrators who were arrested over the past 2 weeks.
And the U.S.-backed human rights activist news agency claims at least 2,500 people have been killed. More than 18,000 have been detained since the demonstrations erupted a few weeks ago. And Indiana's own John Mellencamp is embarking on a countrywide tour this summer, announced today. The Dancing Worlds Tour will hit 19 U.S. cities, including a stop at Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville on July 18th. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Staying connected shouldn't be a struggle, but for many Hoosiers who are deaf, hard of hearing, deafblind, or have a speech disability, everyday phone calls can be frustrating. That's where Relay Indiana comes in. Relay Indiana is a free statewide service that helps people communicate over the phone by connecting callers through specially trained relay operators. They make sure conversations between specialized devices and standard phones are clear, accurate, and respectful. Relay Indiana also offers relay conference captioning, providing real-time captions for meetings, webinars, and conference calls, so you never miss a word. Whether it's work, family, or everyday life, communication matters. Learn more at RelayIndiana.com. That's RelayIndiana.com. And stay connected.
Your event isn't just a date on a calendar. It's a reputation. It's your reputation. It's a moment you can't get back. So why trust anybody else? Trust the most experienced at Nameless Catering. We are engineered for high-stakes weddings and massive corporate lunches. We rely on systems, not stock photos. We don't just deliver meals, we deliver peace of mind. We are Nameless Catering, Indianapolis's standard for service.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss of 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
We have the best technicians in the business here at Family. They'll take care of you every time. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Nobody likes a cold shower. LD Smith has hot deals on water heaters. Save up to $300 on a new water heater installed.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty stinking honest.
Hey, your computer's broke.
I thought we'd fix these problems
no.
when we moved into the new studio.
Oh, no. I warned you. I told you everything is still broke around here.
This is brand new.
Oh, no. You were told very, very clearly that nothing works. And it's not even the fault of the people that are trying to fix it. It's just nothing works, right? And I warned you.
You know what it reminds me of? Our government.
Now, in fairness case,
yeah,
we've only been here a month. So, I mean, don't you move in your house and everything's still broke after a month?
Sure, still trying to find out where the light switch is.
I warned you. I tried to, because you're like, every day Casey'd be like, what am I missing? I said, nothing. Everything's broke. What am I missing? No, everything's infuriating. We play the game, what will not work today, every time we come in the studio. And now my new thing, after that one day where there was nothing turning on in here, I creep in here like out of some sort of fear, as though I'm going to, again, hear the silence.
Like motion detectors are going to change it.
I'm going to have to do the show in Kev's booth again.
Yeah.
So your computer's broke. So does that mean you want me to just wing it, or what do you want me to do?
Well, we were talking about your money just moments ago, and I just thought I would like to remind you that the federal and state quarterly estimated taxes are due today.
Oh,
so if you're an entrepreneur, an investor, or somebody who's not getting a W-2, but you are getting an income, you got to write a big check today. You got to guess. This is how much I think I owe.
You and I were laughing about this because obviously your husband is an entrepreneur, and you and I on the regular now ponder what we would do if we were sadly and horribly told we weren't allowed to be here anymore.
Uninvited.
Yeah, boy, that would just be the worst thing that ever happened. And we were pondering, like, what would we do? And your husband obviously owns a successful business as a business owner. And I told you, I said, the one thing I know I would not do is start another business.
Right.
Because it is such hell on earth.
You'd have to pay your estimated quarterly taxes.
The problem for me was I was so young when I started my businesses, I didn't realize how hell on earth it was because I had no responsibility to anyone. Now that I have stuff to do every day, like, I'm going to buy a radio station. Where are you going to live? I'll live in the back of the station. It'll be fine. Like,
you can't do that now. You have a child.
In my 40s, I would never do this. But just all the BS that business owners have to deal with. And it's like a naivety, and it's not anything malicious, but workers, like rank and file workers, have no concept of what business owners, especially small business owners, like if you're a megacorp, you pay people to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Send it over to Harold. He'll figure it out. Or send it over to Lucille. That's her department. If you're a small business owner, like an entrepreneur, you got no employees or a couple employees, you got to do all this on your own or pay somebody to do it. And to steal a line from Judge Smales in Caddyshack, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's awful. It's awful. I would never own a business ever again. Thank God people are willing to do it because you are the backbone of our humanity, of our society. But it stinks, and our government regularly makes it as hard as humanly possible on these poor people.
So just yesterday, the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, he said that up to 10% of the U.S. budget is stolen each year.
Yeah,
So as you're paying your taxes and you're thinking it's going to the better good, guess what? 10% going to fraud.
Yeah, he's been on this for a while now because last week he was rolling about the exact amount of money, and he said it was between 300 and 600 billion. And think about how offensive that is. You're paying more for everything. Everything goes up every year because of inflation. We're so bad at inflation now that the most recent report was 2.7%, and Trump comes out and goes, "There's no inflation. It's all over." Yeah, dude, there is inflation. First of all, you haven't done anything about the stuff before that rose all the prices. Now you're taking a victory lap that things only went up 2.7%. Keep in mind, a lot of industries are way more than 2.7%. But in their mind, hey, look at what I did for you. Your prices are only 2.7% higher. Throw a parade for me in Times Square. I'm the best. Ted died. This is our government. And yet, the Treasury Secretary is saying there's between $300 and $600 billion of fraud every year. And these clowns that make up the Congress, the 535 people in the House and the Senate, are like, government reforms? Well, you'd have to just start you just have to start cutting to the bone. You'd have to just making irreparable harm to society if we did any sort of reforms. There's nowhere to cut. $300 to $600 billion. We did the math, Casey. It's the entire net worth of Elon Musk. Every single year is wasted because these people are a joke.
Yes. And isn't that just so frustrating, especially on the day where if you're an entrepreneur, you're paying your estimated quarterly taxes, that half of that money is going to nothing.
Yeah. And then
poof, just disappearing.
They get away with it. They're allowed to do it. You are told, shut up and pay.
Right, exactly.
And if you pay wrong, by the way, if you estimate wrong.
Because the IRS is still working. They're still in business.
What happens if you estimate wrong? Would you like to tell everybody what happens?
You get a fine.
Oh, you get a fine. Yes. Yeah, the moment I sold my radio station was done, I said, you people can all smooch my butt cheeks. I'm done with this forever. I'm never starting a business. I'm never owning a business ever again. I'm never being on the hook for any of this. I am leeching off someone else.
Kevin, if we could move ahead to clip number 8, please. This is where Donald Trump, he's saying that he would like to lock up the politicians that are enabling the massive fraud.
Attorney General for fraud. He's a fantastic young guy. He's so impassioned to do this properly. We intend to imprison any fraudster, politician, or public official involved in these sick plots to loot and pillage our country. Think of that Ilhan Omar. She lives in Somalia. They don't have a government. They don't have a military. They don't have police. They don't have anything. All they have is murder and robbing ships, bringing in ships, pirates. That's stopped. Same missile, ping. That's the end of them. It's amazing how that can stop corruption. Those missiles, they never miss, The same one, exactly the same one. But think of it, she comes from a country with nothing, and she comes...
So is he going to say, are we going to be putting Tim Walz in prison?
Well,
is that what he's saying?
Well, he needs to put himself and the Republicans in the United States Senate in prison because the greatest fraud in the history of this country was the money that was sent out in 2020, which was approved and advocated for by Donald Trump. Trillions of dollars. We're talking $9 billion in Minnesota. That is a rounding error compared to the amount of money that Donald Trump and the Republican Senate, along with the Democrat House, sent out in 2020, and Trump wanted more. Everybody wants to forget that Trump was mad he didn't get all that he wanted. He wanted to do more because then, of course, remember he came back at Biden. It's Biden inflation. The 2021 Biden money handing out did it all. He wanted the same thing, Casey. And for him to sit in judgment of anybody else when he was the cheerleader for the biggest fraud ever perpetrated on this country is disgusting.
He went on to say that if we canceled all of the fraud that is happening in the United States, we would have a balanced budget.
Yes, Somali, it is them, but it's not just. There are many other places, many other people. The whole country, if we stop this fraud, this massive fraud, we're going to have a balanced budget. That's how much money you're talking. We'll have a balanced budget without all the growth I'm talking about. And then you add the growth, we got one hell of a country. We're given 90-day notice.
Do I do it? Do you just want to go to break, or you want me to say something?
Well, sure. Get it off your chest.
Well, he's being dishonest about that too. The spending is so bad in this country that even if you alleviated the $300 to $600 billion in fraud, you would still be hundreds of billions of dollars in a deficit every year. And the fact that he doesn't know that, or he's just blatantly lying as the president of the United States, they spend so much money now. He can't even fathom what it is. Even if you got rid of every single ounce of fraud, let's just say it's on the high side and Besant's right and it's $600 billion. Wouldn't surprise me. You would still be essentially $600 billion at a deficit every year. And by the way, one of the other biggest frauds, one of the biggest levels of fraud that he doesn't want to touch or do anything with, despite people begging him, is Social Security and Medicare. And he doesn't want any part of that. The hypocrisy of that guy, and I don't care that he's a Republican, I don't care he's Trump. I care more about the people, and I believe the people can handle the truth. That this guy threw all that money out during COVID where all this fraud that we're talking about was happening, and he acts like he's an innocent victim in all of it, and then he still to this day doesn't want to touch one of the biggest areas of fraud in our government, and he acts like he gives a damn about balancing the budget or paying the bills, not having it.
Would it make you feel better to hear Donald Trump eviscerate Senator Todd Young from Indiana?
Now you're talking.
Okay, Kevin, play that clip. It's number 10. Here he is. He's talking about, he doesn't say nice things about Rand Paul either, but he does mention Todd Young.
Of course.
But I wouldn't use the name Romney because I'm in his sort of territory, so I would never use that name. But all right, I'll use it. They don't have a Mitt Romney that votes against everything. They don't have a Rand Paul that votes against everything. I got him elected twice. He was a stone cold loser. I went to Kentucky where I won by a lot. I did a rally for him. Then I did another rally. He won. Then I went the second time. He won. Then he votes against all the time. It's just crazy. I don't get it. Then you have Lisa Murkowski and you have Susan Collins. Disasters. And you had a gentleman from Indiana that I don't believe it, Todd Young, he voted against. And you'd say, why are you voting against? They can't give you an answer. They're unable to give you an answer. It's like, why are they against the attack on Venezuela? They're against the attack after they found out it was the most successful attack, probably the most talented, most brilliant tactically attack that we've had maybe in 100 years.
Casey?
Yeah.
Rand Paul was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the president in 2011?
Well, not Donald Trump.
Okay,
That's
I don't have any energy left to scream anymore for this segment.
Right.
I just wanted to point out that Rand
Donald
Paul
Trump
was
did
elected in
not
2011.
Yeah, Rand Paul
Okay,
elected.
thank you.
It is the Kendall Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. Some more Miami jokes and the Tonus. Tony Kennett will join us. 93 WIBC.
What is the most important thing that'll help you maintain your same lifestyle in retirement? Here's the answer. It's income. That's going to help you maintain your same lifestyle in retirement. When you have a consistent and steady stream of income, it enables you to do all the things you want to do in retirement. Hey, what's going on? It's Hammer and Nigel. And you may not realize it, but there are strategies that could give you a 20% upfront bonus, a strong return that's averaged nearly 10% a year, and it's backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world.
Think of it as creating your own personal pension. Learn more from the retirement guy that we trust, Bill Demery, right here in Indy. Call 317-805-4716. That's 317-805-4716. 317-805-4716, or visit yourretirementguy.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joiner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joiner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is joinerhomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joiner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joiner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at joinerhomes.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, live at Old National Center, January 23rd at 7:30 p.m. It's the ultimate throwback party. Get your tickets today at WIBC.com.
So there was sad news yesterday. Scott Adams, best known as the creator of Dilbert.
Yeah, cartoonist, passed away. He was 68 years old.
And he had been ill, publicly ill, for a while. He had the pancreatic cancer, which I believe was the same cancer that Joe Biden has. And he had been pretty, candid about that.
No, Joe Biden had prostate cancer.
I'm sorry, I said pancreatic, prostate cancer. I believe it was the same one because he had talked about what Biden is likely to experience as a result of having that cancer. Yes, I'm sorry, you're 100% correct. Prostate cancer. And he had been pretty public, though. He'd been continuing to do a podcast. He had gotten a little better, but he said, it's very early on. We don't know if it's going to work. He tried different things and was out there about it. And then it had come down that he was had taken a kind of a turn for the worst and was in hospice care. And then very quickly, by when those stories came out, passed away yesterday.
Yeah, so his Dilbert cartoon debuted, 1989, appeared in over 2,000 newspapers across 70 countries. People magazine is getting blasted for their write-up on this because they said that he was a disgraced cartoonist.
Isn't that fascinating? Like, okay, so you're a guy who creates something that over decades, right, literally generations plural, enjoy, they consume. And because somebody doesn't like your political beliefs, then all of that is supposed to go away, right? Like, and I, people get mad at me about being like, I'm a fan of Bruce Springsteen. He's super liberal. And we've had this conversation. I said, well, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, not act like those songs and those albums that had these meanings to me in these moments in my life where I really needed those things. Like, am I supposed to act like that didn't exist because I don't like the guy's political belief? No, that's stupid. You can not agree with somebody politically and admire their talent or the thing that they brought to society and separate those. Many people can't, and that's sad. But in the case of this guy, it's like, I'm sure there's a lot of liberal people who read Dilbert over the generations who got great joy out of it. You don't have to agree because he was a Trump supporter, think that he's, that you didn't have those memories or those laughs or share that joy. Like, we are so far gone in our society where if we don't like somebody's politics now, all the other things that they did that are great, we're supposed to just throw all those things out.
A couple things about his passing. There at the end, he had resigned to the fact that it was happening, and it was just more of a state of acceptance. And he said that he was allowing Jesus Christ into his life, and he was turning pretty much everything over to him. It was his ex-wife, Shelley Miles, who announced his passing on social media, not his second wife. And recently had a conversation with somebody about that. Out of all the vows you take when you get married, what's the most important? And I said, I think it may be in sickness and in health. And
Boy, you found that out, haven't you?
I was told, no, honey, it's obey.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to play you this audio from the Supreme Court yesterday. There was this hearing about men and women's sports, and the Sam Alito audio is it's just fabulous.
It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Cameron Nigel here for Window Nation. I have Window Nation windows installed in my house. The cold air has stopped coming through. The warm air has stopped exiting the house because of my grade A Window Nation windows. Definitely check out their sale, windownation.com. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free.
Window Nation, the best in the business. But don't just take my word for it. Check out their A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Check out their over 45,000 5-star reviews. Now, that's a big deal because nobody ever leaves 5-star reviews, but Window Nation has over 45,000 of them. Take advantage of this deal right now. Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows for free sale. It's going on right now. Schedule your fast and free, that's the key word, free estimate at windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Gain insight on how to prepare for a secure retirement.
In our younger years, we want as much growth and accumulation as we can muster.
Take advantage of a free discovery call, 877-524-2677, 877-524-2677.
It's important for you to understand what that's going to look like later on.
And tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show with Will Gonzalez, Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Did you get a heating and air conditioning quote that you're just not sure of? Give us a call for a free second opinion.
317-577-8077 for Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, when and where the snow will be in central Indiana today, why a former band assistant at Plainfield High School is in custody, and where there's talk of another data center coming to Indianapolis. Those stories and more after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Get out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what some Americans are being told in the Middle East, Fox has learned. Told to leave U.S. military bases in case Iran attacks, as President Trump considers taking action over a deadly crackdown on protesters that could include fast trials and hangings. He tells CBS News,
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
And today there are concerns that Iran will begin to execute some of the demonstrators who were arrested over the past 2 weeks.
Fox's Trey Yingst also reports.
Human rights organizations say the confirmed death toll in Iran now sits at more than 2,500 people.
The foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark, who don't want the U.S. to take control of the Danish territory, are in Washington for talks right now with Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, hours after a Trump Truth Social post that NATO is far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the U.S. The president added anything less is unacceptable.
Greenland's prime minister said, if we have to choose between the U.S. and Denmark, we choose Denmark, NATO, the EU. Local media is reporting Denmark is sending military equipment and advanced troops to Greenland, which is preparing for a larger Danish army presence.
Fox's Greg Palcott. It's been a week since Renee Good's shooting death in Minneapolis, and as anti-ICE protests rage, Mayor Jacob Fry, a Democrat, tells Fox and Friends immigration agents have gone too far.
If we're talking about arresting violent criminals, Minneapolis does not oppose that, but that's not what is taking place in the streets of our city.
President Trump plans to cut federal funding February 1st to sanctuary cities and states.
It's an expansion of earlier threats to cut off resources to so-called sanctuary cities themselves. Back in Washington, Trump said the cuts would be, quote, significant when asked by reporters what kind of funding would be affected.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's cold again, and will only be getting colder. Cloudy skies. We're still at 40 here in the Circle City, the high just shy of 50. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:02, brought to you by Window Nation. Snow is moving in later today and into Thursday morning, with lake effect bands making some roads hazardous.
Areas that are favored will be from like Michigan City, Indiana to South Bend. However, given the strength of the cold air mass coming overhead and some instability within that air mass, that snow band could actually push us quite a bit farther south than usual.
Matt Etkoff with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says temperatures will keep falling through the week, with highs barely reaching 20 by Monday. The threatening messages Plainfield police say 23-year-old Braden Scott sent to a 16-year-old girl from Plainfield High School included images of her and her cousin pulled from other social media sites and a picture of a woman with a knife wound to the stomach. That's why now he's facing child pornography and intimidation charges. During a search of his home, officers found several devices where there were references to sexual violence, suspected cocaine, and an old-school project about a character obsessed with knives. Plainfield Schools said in a statement that Scott was never an employee with the school, but had been a paid percussion technician there with the band since 2023. Another data center is trying to come to Indianapolis. Jeanette Cruz tells you where.
Pike Township residents are fighting a proposed data center at 79th and Township Line Road. American Tower Company is seeking to rezone 7 acres of forest to build a 20,000 square foot edge facility. Neighbors argue that the project will destroy a critical local forest that serves as a habitat for the endangered Indiana bat and features several heritage trees. Opponents also cite concerns over industrial noise, diesel exhaust from backup generators, and rising utility costs. The Pike Township Residents Association will hold a vote this week. Jeanette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana Hoosier football tight end Riley Nowakowski asked on Tuesday if he's had time to think about what it's like playing for this team that's now 15-0 and one win away from a national championship.
I haven't really fully reflected on it yet. I'm kind of focused on this next game, but
hopefully after this next game, I'll kind of have a second to really sit down and think about that.
He says the key is staying humble and hungry, which he says both he and his teammates are doing as they get ready to play Miami on Monday. As for the IU men's basketball team, they had a tough outing on Tuesday, losing to 12th-ranked Michigan State 81-60. The Hoosiers have Iowa on Saturday. Purdue will host the Hawkeyes tonight at Mackey Arena. That game tips off at 6:30, while the Pacers will go for their fourth straight win tonight when they face the Raptors at 7. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace too strict.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Okay. This is how far we have fallen in our society. We can't even agree, and we're going to have a fight that if you're a man, you might have a competitive advantage, a sizable competitive advantage against a woman in sports.
This is according to what's going on in that case being seen before the Supreme Court.
And out of this, so there is obviously there have been a variety of transgender issues that have come in front of the Supreme Court in recent years. And the issue that's in front of them now relates to men playing in women's sports. And look, out of this case that was heard yesterday, and one of the great things about the Supreme Court in recent years, while they still do not allow video of the Supreme Court, they have now started releasing audio transcripts, which I think is wonderful. See, look at me saying something nice about something, Casey, and something nice about the government. I think that's a wonderful thing for transparency to be able to hear, because in the past it was, the court reporters had to come out, okay, and Justice so-and-so said this, and blah, blah, blah. Now you can hear in real time, not just the questions verbatim and the answers verbatim, which is important, but also the tone of the questions themselves, right? And you can learn a lot from the judges and how they're likely to rule sort of based on the tone and questions and et cetera.
Yeah.
And so we're going to play you 2 pieces of audio. One is Justice Sam Alito, who is the best of the 9. He is the best, most rock solid, and I know a lot of people love Clarence Thomas, and I'm not disputing that. A lot of people love Gorsuch, and I'm not disputing that. But I think Sam Alito is rock solid, the best. I cannot believe he was appointed by George W. Bush. Of all the one nice thing we can say about George W. Bush is he put Sam Alito on the Supreme Court. And he is asking this ACLU lawyer, of course, they want people with penises to be able to play in women's sports, right? They want to totally gut the idea, because if words don't have meaning, and this is what this is all about at the core of this, if words don't have meaning, you can make them mean whatever you want. And that's what all of this is about. And he asked this ACLU lawyer directly, what is a man? What is a woman? I mean, this is brilliant. This is a brilliant, and I'll get to it here in a second, but this is a brilliant legal, entanglement here that he gets this guy in, and the lawyer doesn't see it coming. And it is just so great. Take a listen to this.
If it does that, then is it not necessary for there to be, for equal protection purposes, if that is challenged under the Equal Protection Clause, an understanding of what it means to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that definition? For equal protection purposes, what does it mean to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I think that the underlying enactment, whatever it was, the policy, the law, we'd have to have an understanding of how the state or the government was understanding that term to figure out whether or not someone was excluded. We do not have a definition for the court, and we don't take issue with we're not disputing the definition here. What we're saying is that the way it applies in practice is to exclude birth-sex males categorically from women's teams, and that there's a subset of those birth-sex males where it doesn't make sense to do so according to the state's own interest.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means for equal protection purposes?
I think here we just know that we basically know that that they've identified pursuant to their own statute, Lindsay qualifies as a birth-sex male, and she's being excluded categorically from the women's teams as the statute. So we're taking the statute's definitions as we find them, and we don't dispute them.
That was so good. So he basically
He just
asked
walked
her
her right into
yeah,
it.
and again, he is the brilliance of Sam Alito, and he has shown this over the 20 years he's been on the court. It is unparalleled. He's one of the great Supreme Court justices in American history. And basically what he says to her is, okay, in English, right? I'm trying to break down what you just heard in the lawyer speak there, is he says, define to me what a man and a woman is. She says, in lawyer speak, I can't do it. I won't do it. And so then he looks at her and goes, well, if you can't do it, how can you say somebody's being discriminated against? How do we know somebody's being discriminated against if you won't tell me what it is? It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, Casey.
So this is, the case is Little versus Hecox, and this is a biological male athlete who's trying to compete on the women's track and cross-country team at Boise State University. And the athlete is saying that Idaho's Fairness in Women's Sport Act is violating the Equal Protection Clause. And now you've got Justice Alito pressing the attorney on, well, if that's the case, then you have to tell me what the ACLU defines as a boy or a girl or a man or a woman for the purposes of the Equal Protection Law. And you heard that lawyer saying, oh, well, I can't do it. If you're a lawyer for the ACLU, how can you say that you're protecting women's rights or men's rights when you can't even define what they are?
And you hit the nail on the head, which is once they can't define it because the whole argument falls apart once you define it. They can't define it because their definition of it would be so insane that everybody would look at them and they'd be like Nelson Muntz on The Simpsons. They would point at them and laugh. So when they get in front of these non-leftist judges, any remotely reasonable person or independent thinker, it all falls apart. Now, compare and contrast what you just heard there to this utter insanity that you're about to hear from Ketanji Brown Jackson, and realize that this woman and Sam Alito share equal power in terms of enforcing the law in the United States of America.
This notion that this is really just about the definition of we accept that you can separate boys and girls, and we are now looking at the definition of a girl, and we're saying only people who were girl assigned at birth qualify.
Girl assigned.
Girl assigned at birth. That's what she said. And this is where they want to make, this is really key for them. And I know people hear this and go, this argument is so stupid. Like, why? Like, they're doing this because the left depends upon, and government really depends upon, being able to make things whatever they want to make them so that they can always fit something in whatever box they need it to fit in. That's what this is about. The transgender thing is the sideshow aspect of it. This is about being able to gut the meaning of words and the meaning of language and the definition of such so that they can always make whatever thing fit into whatever box they need it to fit in. That's why this is so important. And so she won't define it either, right?
Girl assigned.
Right. Remember when she got asked about this in her Supreme Court hearing? And she could, I'm not a biologist, right? That is because when you have to define it, it is so utterly ridiculous. It falls apart. Men cannot be women. Women cannot be men. I'm sorry. If you wanted to be born a woman and you got born a man, I'm sorry. Take it up with God. You can do whatever you want to alter your body. You can chop, you can grow, you can whatever. And by the way, I've said, if you are earnest enough to start chopping and growing, I'm going to believe that you genuinely want to be that other thing. I think there's a lot of people out there that are, as the kids say, just out for the ATT, out for the attention, who don't really want to do the stuff. They just want to be looked at. If you're chopping or you're growing, I believe you're screwed up enough to want to be that thing. But no matter how much you want to be that thing, I wanted to win the Masters, Casey. When I was a kid, I would watch and
Well,
say,
you know what your problem was, Rob, is that when you were born, you were not Masters champion assigned. Had you come out of the womb and a doctor or a nurse or somebody said, this human is Masters champion assigned, according to Ketanji Brown Jackson, then you would have been a Masters champion.
all right, so we need to take a break. What else are we doing here?
Well, we've got to talk about Joe Rogan and how he's breaking up with Donald Trump. And there's some new polling coming out involving ICE and what's going on with people's thoughts.
Interesting that if you say anything critical about Trump, like you're just dead to like a lot of people. Isn't that fascinating? And let's talk about that when we come back too. Has there ever been a politician where if you are critical of them,
Demands 100% loyalty.
even not just from the guy, but the people who support the guy,
The base.
like even if you have the same opinions you've always had about the size and the scope of government and da-da-da-da, like you're now like a rotten person, even if you're just the same person you've always been. I want to talk about that because you're right. This Rogan stuff is very interesting.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Say it out loud. Indiana. National Championship.
This day belongs to the number one Indiana Hoosiers.
2 seasons ago, rock bottom. Today, one came away from the title. Indiana scores again. IU versus Miami. Hoosier history happens here. Coverage begins Monday at 6:30 on 93 WIBC.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, BOOHER, BooherRemodeling.com. They could take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. BOOHER, BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
Okay, so this Rogan stuff on ICE has people just up in arms because he's not, I guess, 100% in lockstep with Trump.
Isn't that interesting, though? Because it was Joe Rogan, Donald Trump's appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast that really helped him win the election.
Well, and you and I learned this the hard way last year. Well, I was goaded back into learning this the hard way again because I've learned this numerous times. For years, I always heard, well, you don't ever say what you're for. You don't ever help anybody. You're just negative. And so last year we said, all right, I'll help this guy, Mike Braun, because he said he's going to fix property taxes, and I will do everything in my ability to help him. And we did. And he still screwed everybody the same way all the other politicians screw everybody. And then everybody looked at me and said, well, you told us to support him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said,
It's your fault.
I can't win. I'm never supporting anybody ever again publicly. I'm out of this game, and y'all can figure it out on your own now. We are kamikaze pilots, effective the day after that property tax thing was announced on the Kendall and Casey show. And what's interesting for Rogan is I think Rogan, much like us, is a very independent thinker. I don't think he really likes any of these people. I think he did, to some extent, pick the better of the worst option, sort of like we did. And now he's holding the views that he sort of always held as it relates to immigration and ICE, which I don't agree with his views, by the way. We can get into this here in a second. But now the Trump people are coming at him for having the same views he's always had on the topic.
He was expressing concern about the aggressive nature of ICE, and his quote was, "Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers?" But he did say that it is more complicated than people admit.
Absolutely. And look, if somebody were to ask me, now, do I carry my birth certificate or my social security card around with me? No, of course not. But there's also no hint that Rob Kendall is an illegal immigrant, right? There's no evidence whatsoever that people who are clearly not illegal immigrants are being pulled over or snatched up off the street. Look, this may be controversial. I want every illegal immigrant snatched up off the street. I don't care if it's in their home. I don't care if it's on the sidewalk. I don't care if it's in a diner. I don't care. There's 15 million plus people who have broken the law in this country. They have snuck in. They have stolen spots from other people. They're a drain on our resources. They broke the law. The people who come in here legally, I support them 100%. They're some of the greatest people amongst us. This isn't a racist thing or a race thing. I love people who want to assimilate into this country. I love people who want to follow the law. I love people who want to identify and be a part of the American culture and the American fabric. And God bless those people. And I believe in a very big wall and a very wide gate. But I have zero sympathy for people who broke the law in this country and have illegally formed a life here. That is your problem. That is not a me problem. I am fine with ICE banging down doors and getting people and getting them out of this country. If you don't want that to happen to you, don't come into this country illegally.
You're in the 40% who are supporting the efforts from ICE. There was a new poll that was done by Quinnipiac University, and they found out that 57% of Americans oppose how immigration and customs enforcement are enacting the immigration laws, and 40% do support it.
Well, I mean, let's work. First of all, ICE isn't even doing that for the most part. Like, if they know somebody's an illegal immigrant, and they're still mostly targeting well-known or known violent offenders, right? People who are a threat and a danger. But even if they're not, are we, like, no, this is the side the left doesn't want to answer. Why would anybody ever come to this country legally if we're just going to let you stay? Well, because you did this the way that they said they wanted it done, you get to stay? Then why would anybody ever go through the 6, 7, 8-year process?
Right.
Like, I don't have any sympathy for somebody who came to this country illegally and did not do things the way we say to do it. I had this conversation the other day about my daughter. She was doing something, and it would have been easier just to give in. And I said, no, we're not doing that, because if you do it, then she's going to learn.
Well, you've set a precedent.
Right. That this is how she will get her way. And I'd rather deal with the headache of listening to her hoot and holler for a few minutes, which she'll get over it anyway, and her to learn the lesson that that does not work, than give in and encourage the behavior. If you're not getting these people out of this country that are breaking the law, that broke the law by being here, you are still encouraging the behavior.
So we have a scapegoat for all of this, and it's turning out to be Kristi Noem, because there's more polling, and her poll says that 36% of Americans approve of her performance, while 52% disapprove, and 12% have no opinion.
How many people even know what her actual job is? Like, if you stop the
She does have a high approval rating among Republicans. It's at 77%. It's very low among Democrats, where it's at 4%.
We should strive for zero illegal immigration, not only in terms of people coming into this country, but zero illegal immigrants in this country. And this whole thing about, well, if they're not there, who would do the work? There is a process by which people are allowed to come into this country who are willing to do jobs that are vital to the economy. Nobody's talking about getting rid of that. What we're talking about is rewarding people who respect the laws of this country and do things the right way. People who say the laws matter, I'm not above the law, and I am willing to follow, and I'm willing to earn. That's the big thing. We shouldn't just give away spots in this country. Being an American should mean something. And look, there's a lot of people, and I get it, who are blessed to be born in this country who don't appreciate it, and that's too bad. But that's the way the rules are set up right now, right? Like, you're born here legally, you get to stay, right? But we cannot be rewarding people who break the law. And so in terms of Rogan, I disagree with him on terms when he's talking about, we can't just be apprehending the nonviolent offenders, blah, blah. Why not? They never have an answer for that. Why not? But the point is, he is now getting the treatment that so many other people get. No matter how much you support Trump, if you ever disagree with him or
You
break
say
from
one negative thing,
you're out. You're done.
Yeah.
And it's just why people just turn away. It's why Trump struggles to maintain a positive approval rating, because so many people say, if I'm not an absolutist, then I'm just out.
So there are 53 House Democrats who have co-sponsored articles of impeachment against the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem. And
impeach her for what?
Obstruction of Congress, violation of public trust, and self-dealing.
Violation of public trust? Every damn one of those 535 people, save for Thomas Massey, should probably be out then. If violation of public trust is the standard, every one of those people do that every single day.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
I didn't even know that was a standard to get impeached.
Of course, a spokesperson for DHS called the impeachment push silly. And they said that they're prioritizing showmanship and fundraising over protecting Americans. And Kevin, let's move ahead to the clip with the Representative Ramirez. She's saying not only should Democrats defund ICE, but they have to impeach Kristi Noem and prosecute ICE agents.
Yes, and that means we must oppose new investments and demand policy change and reforms. It means we're not voting on a DHS package without any reforms, significant reforms. But I want to go further. We have to also impeach Kristi Noem. I want to go further than that. We need to prosecute the criminals in masks. We need to cut and claw back ICE's funding as natural consequences for DHS's disregard for the rule of law and violations of our rights. We have to use every single tool, including the power of the purse, to end the campaign of terror. Because we brought ICE into this world. And we have a responsibility to decide what we do with it.
She's acting like it's ISIS. I mean, that speech should be a speech that you're giving about eradicating ISIS in foreign countries.
These are government employees.
Yeah, that they're doing their job. And their job is to enforce immigration law in this country, which is ensuring that the people who are here are legally allowed to be here. Look, the left makes it impossible, and we talk about this all the time. The left makes it impossible for so many people to vote Democrat who hate the Republicans, who would love to see the Republicans go, who would love to have somebody else in there. But they hear people like this woman who have a platform and are a big voice, become a big voice. I mean, she's a member of Congress, right? And they say, nobody pushes back on this. Even if this isn't where the majority of Democrats are at, they just let it go. And they say, I get that I get abused financially by the Republicans, but at least it isn't this.
Tough task for many of them, the ICE agents. Think about that. Battling illegals.
I don't know why anybody want to do it.
Protesters.
I don't know.
Politicians. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for We Grow Hair Indie. Now, it's been 5 years since I made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indie, and I got to admit, when I started, I was like, how does this work? Does it even work? How could this be that you could be a bald, horribly looking human such as myself, or a balding, horrible looking human such as myself, and then become beautiful one day? And so I was skeptical, but I went through the process, and 5 years later, every time I look in the mirror, now I'm a hideous looking human with hair. It's certainly not the hair on the top of my head that's the fault of anything. That's not funny, Casey. Here's how you can get more hair on the top of your head. This is what matters. Call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang, they'll take great care of you. And in the meantime, if you'd like to see some other folks who made the choice to get their confidence back, head over to WeGrowHairIndie.com. WeGrowHairIndie.com, 317-522-2995.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Exercise Inc. I've been a client for nearly 20 years, and I can tell you it works. I'm in my 70s now, and I'm doing things on the farm I couldn't even do in my 40s. Lifting, carrying, working without wondering if my body's going to quit on me. That's real strength. That's real results. And I'm not talking about vanity muscles. This is strength that shows up in real life. What makes Exercise Inc. different? The professional coaches, many with over 15 years of experience, and a private gym where every workout is guided, efficient, and safe. Here's the best part. It only takes 20 minutes a week. Their training method came out of an osteoporosis research study. Their Simple 9 nutrition program has helped clients lose over 40,000 pounds, and people see real improvements in strength, energy, and health. This isn't a resolution you quit. It's a habit you keep. The consultation's free, and it's worth it. 5 locations, Avon, Brownsburg, Zionsville, and Greenwood, now in Fishers. Change your life in 20 minutes a week. Go to exerciseinc.com.
Bring the family for Friday night fun with the blue and gold.
McConnell has it, perimeter right. Off the Furphy screen, drives the right baseline. He's determined to score, and he does score, driving the lane up and under, right to left.
The Pacers host the Pelicans for their only visit to Indy and for Lucas Oil Family Night. Each family night ticket includes a hot dog, chips, Pepsi, and Pacers hat. This offer's good at pacers.com/family. Pacers Pelicans, Friday at 7.
Indiana winters are when serious plumbing problems show up. Frozen pipes, no hot water, backed up drains. Indiana winters deserve a real local Indiana plumber. Hey, it's Denny Smith, and at my house I use LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. Real local people answering your call who live, work, and play here. And they're specialists. All they do is water. Call the company I trust, LD Smith Plumbing and Drains, 317-927-7186, ldsmithplumbing.com.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Lose the weight or stop smoking with Hypnosis, guaranteed only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Hypnosis Thursday, January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss hypnosis 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss hypnosis 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
For your free system replacement analysis, give family a call today at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It'll be here before you know it. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Scattered snow showers will pop up as colder air moves in today.
Cold front that's coming, the wind behind it will be out of the north-northwest, and that perfectly aligns with Lake Michigan, so you're going to have a really long fetch of wind over the water.
Matt Eckhoff at the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says most areas can expect a light coating up to about half an inch. A child is injured after a car drove into the side of Linwood Elementary on the southwest side of Indianapolis just before 9 this morning. The child was inside the car, and the driver driver was not hurt. Classes are going on as normal despite a large hole on the side of the building. The search continues for 17-year-old Haley Page Busby, who vanished from her Fishers home just over a week ago. The family says they have an army of people from the community helping to look for her. And Mike Braun is set to deliver his State of the State address tonight after his first year as governor. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
In Annapolis, the ink was still wet. After 8 years of blood, bravery, and sacrifice, a new nation was officially recognized, not with a battle, but with a signature.
WIBC celebrates the spirit of 76. Brought to you by Tony Katz presents Trump 1 year later.
January 14th, 1784, the Continental Congress ratified the Treaty of Paris, formally ending the Revolutionary War. Independence was recognized, the borders set. Washington had already resigned his commission, and the Army had officially disbanded. 13 states stood ready to govern themselves. That day, quills accomplished what armies could not. They made freedom official.
The spirit of 76. History remembered. Freedom celebrated. Sponsored by Trump. 1 year later, an evening of insight, conversation, and bourbon with Tony Katz. Tickets available at WIBC.com.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed, or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Stayed running through his front yard, you know he thinks he's got it so good.
Big news coming out today. Indy Star, amongst others, reporting John Mellencamp will be hitting the road this summer.
Yeah.
Indiana, Central Indiana, be one of his dates.
What's he going to do? 19 shows? Yeah, 19 shows, and this is going to be a greatest hits tour.
Yeah, so none of those bathroom
Sing-alongs.
break songs. Yeah, none of those
Right.
bathroom break songs. July 18th, he's coming to Ruoff. And, of course, my dear friend of this show, Troy Kennett, keyboard player for Mellencamp, once clarified a great debate for us on this program about what Mellencamp was actually saying, if he indeed was saying a sport was a sport. And turns out that spoke was a spoke was the answer to that.
So he announced this in a, I don't know, it's like 2.5-minute video that he produced with actor Sean Penn. He rolls up in to a small little diner, roadside diner, and he's riding a motorcycle, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of motorcycle. I mean,
you'd be
I have to
interested in
pay
that.
attention to
Yes.
the important stuff.
Absolutely.
What kind of bike is John Mellencamp riding in this video? But they sit down in the diner and they start discussing, and then comes the announcement that, John Mellencamp's going on tour.
So your opportunity, July 18th, John Mellencamp will be at Ruoff. Tickets go on sale January 23rd, it looks like, according to the Indianapolis Star.
Says that he's going to be playing all of his greatest hits, like Hurt So Good and Pink Houses and Small Town and I Need a Lover, Wild Nights, Ain't Even Done with the Night.
Okay, so
That'll be a good show.
If I were to say the signature song for John Mellencamp is, what's your gut instinct reaction? Signature song.
Well, oh gosh.
You've already failed the test.
Jack and Diane or Pink Houses. Which one is it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think there's probably three that most people would say, right? It would be Jack and Diane, Pink Houses, Small Town. And it probably depends on where you're at, right? Because I think maybe in Indiana, it may be indeed Small Town. But, I mean, my theory is if you have 3 hits, like 3 legitimate hits, you're a big deal. Like, how many does he have? I mean, you think about that over the Hurt So Good, Rockin' in the USA, the Authority song.
I was always partial to check it out.
Right. I mean, there's just endless amounts over decades of hits that this guy who, while look, some of his personal antics have enraged or alienated certain members of a potential customer base, the ability of Mellencamp, and I've always said this, that Mellencamp's songwriting ability, the genius of it lies in there's like one or two lines in these great Mellencamp songs where you just hear it and you go, that's spellbindingly good because the accuracy and the reality that it captures is off the charts. And like, like in Pink Houses where it's, they said when he was younger, so much younger, boy, you're going to be the president. And then there's like this quick pause and then it goes, but just like everything else, those old crazy dreams just kind of came and went, right? Like that's your life, right? The reality of living is when you're young, the world is wide in front of us, right? I can do anything and any ambition is there for the taking. And then the reality of living at some point just keeps constricting those dreams down to when maybe you don't touch any of your dreams.
So it's called the Dancing Words Tour, the greatest hits. And the interesting thing, it kicks off in Grand Rapids, by the way. You could see him in multiple places in the Midwest. The interesting thing about this tour, he's got a lot of locations around the Midwest, Michigan, Illinois, Missouri, here in Indiana, a couple stops in Ohio. And then he does some stops on the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, Virginia, and really just skips over a lot of the country and is doing one stop in Arizona, 2 in California. But for the most part, it's all Midwest and East Coast stops.
And like I said, one of the great opportunities for you to see, and look, I know I've said this before, but Troy Kennett is one of the great musicians in the history of Central Indiana, and you'll be able to see him on stage with Mellencamp playing keys. So I think Casey, I am tempted. I very rarely go anywhere or do anything. I'm very tempted to actually go to this and go to Ruoff and see Mellencamp.
I would definitely go to this one, for sure. It's the greatest hits tour.
Kev.
Mellencamp's 74 years old.
Kev, you want to go get super liquored up with me and Casey and go to Ruoff and make asses out of ourselves on the lawn?
I'll consider it.
Just to say how much the tickets are. Do we know?
Well, they're priceless, and money's no object to you.
That's true. That's true. A night out with Rob Kendall, that would be priceless.
Right.
Well, they do go on sale Friday, January 23rd. You said 10 a.m., right?
Yes.
Yeah.
10 a.m.
Okay.
I don't even know how to buy a ticket online, so you'll have to show me how that operates.
You have to get your wife on that one, won't you? Honey, what do I do? How does this work?
What else are we doing? Oh, by the way, coming up next, I guess we'll go ahead and tease this. You're going to want to stick around. So Abdul is going to be with us. And he said it on State House Happenings, which will be going live here as soon as we get done with the program today. So it's not like
something.
He is claiming that Diego Morales, Secretary of State for the state of Indiana, is under a grand jury investigation. Now, he was spot on with the Beckwith stuff, and he was one of the first to say it with that. So we'll get into that coming up next.
Fake news!
Well, I can see him now. Diego's going to be heading to some motor vehicle advisory board lunch screaming about it, but stick around. So Abdul will be giving us the details on that coming up here in just a moment. But what else
do you want to go down memory lane really quick?
Oh, well, depends on. I've got a lot of horrible memories, but I've got some
go
good
down
ones
memory
too.
lane. This is a year ago.
Oh, okay.
This is when Governor Braun gave his first State of the State address. Of course, he's got one tonight starting at 7:30. You can hear it right here on WIBC, and then you've got the response, which is slated around 8:15, and then the response to the response. By the way, that happens.
If the Democrats really wanted, because who's giving the response for the Democrats?
You've got Senate Minority Leader Shelley Yoder and also the House Minority Leader Phil Jean.
Yeah, that's going to be as entertaining as paint. Nobody's going to clip that or anything else. What
and
they should have done.
You've got Bray and Houston doing the response to the response.
What they should have done, if they really wanted all sorts of publicity and headlines, was let Kendall and Casey give the response to Braun's State of the State.
Well, we'll do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but I mean, think about if the Democrats endorse. Look, our people are rotten and awful, and they're not going to give us any publicity. Let's put these two out there.
Well, let's see how much of this we can get through until Abdul joins us. But memory lane, this is how your governor said he was going to fix property taxes a year ago.
My plan is built on 3 priorities. Cut property taxes for Hoosier families, especially new homeowners and seniors, the most vulnerable for not being able to pay that big increase. Cap the annual increase to protect homeowners, farmers, and businesses, and reform the system through transparency. And when you talk about a cap, I'm not asking for something terribly difficult. It's a cap that would probably never even reach the amount of economic growth that we experience when it's a robust economy. So there's plenty of room there to make sure that we exercise good judgment and don't be overbearing to the taxpayer. It'll have an impact on local governments, and I realize that. But taxpayers are struggling, and we have to put their needs first, just like the example I set with my budget proposal. All governments need to do more with a little less. We will continue to have important discussions with local governments, school boards about how to protect vital services like police, fire, and schools. But believe me, if we run this place well, we're going to be able to find it. Served on a school board for 10 years. I know how important that is in each one of our communities.
All right, I'm going
Senator
to throw up all over myself if we have to hear that guy's voice anymore. I believe, Casey, it was the group Lincoln Park who said it best. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Because all that happened as a result of this bill is collectively your taxes are going to go up. I missed in there where he mentioned to offset any sort of meaningless property tax relief you're going to get, I'm going to allow the income tax to go up.
Sure.
Did he say that later in the speech? Did we just cut him off too early?
No.
Oh.
He did not say that.
He must have come up with that idea afterwards, because I missed that one.
Somebody came up with that idea. Okay. Okay. All right. Abdul is going to join us coming up. He's going to drop a bomb of news, something that he's claiming. So
yeah, he's gonna say that Diego Morales, the Secretary of State, is under a grand jury investigation. So we will have all the details for that coming up next.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215-215. That's RULE to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Step into the spotlight with Dancing with the Stars. Catch the live show at Old National Center Wednesday, February 25th. Reserve your seats and tickets today at WIBC.com.
So I think he's about to break some news with us today based on what we did on State House Happenings. Let's get to it. I'm Rob Casey's here. It's Kendall Casey Show. He's an author. He's a broadcaster. He's a provocateur. IndyPolitics.org is the website. Abdul Hakim Shabazz. Hello.
Hello, my friend. How's it going this morning?
So we're in the middle of recording our State House Happenings program. Podcast will be up later today or Sunday mornings on WIBC. And you just casually tossed out a claim that Diego Morales, Secretary of State for the state of Indiana, is under grand jury investigation.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That was my exact response.
Wait, what?
In the middle of the show, he just throws it out there casually.
Oh,
like,
by the way.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the Hall of Justice, my very reliable sources have informed me that Diego Morales is under his office, is being looked at a grand jury for possible mixing government and politics together. It stems from an online ad that Diego Morales did earlier this year, or I'll say last summer, I think it was, where he talked about voting, and he was in a voting center, taking pictures and greeting the voting workers.
This was in Marion County, right?
Yeah, in Marion County, yeah.
And they told him, because that ad popped, it was an online ad, right?
Right.
If I'm trying to remember this. And they told him, Kate Sweeney Bell, right?
Yeah.
She's the clerk.
Yeah.
She told him, hey, you're filming my office and my workers. You were there as the official Secretary of State overseeing election stuff. Take that ad down. We don't want to be in your ad. Don't use government stuff in the ad. And then, as I recall, he didn't take it down.
No, I want to say he left it up there. And so I want to say a grand jury is looking at the possible mixing of government and political, which you're kind of not supposed to do.
I thought there was a difference, though, because that ran online only, that the rules and regulations are different than broadcast.
Nope.
No, that's stuff like with disclaimers and things, I think.
Yeah, that accounts for disclaimers, but you can't use government stuff for political purposes, regardless whether it's online, print, broadcast, whatever.
And I think the bigger, if indeed you're right about this, which that's a huge story if it's true, but the bigger deal would be that everybody makes mistakes, right? Like, I didn't realize this, whatever. Thank you for bringing it to attention. They told him very nicely, hey, please take that down. We're working here. Our people are working here. Because the deal is, if you're some person who just wants to administer the elections, you don't want to be subjected to being in some guy's ad if you don't agree with them, because you're there doing your government work.
Usually 9 out of 10 times, the Marion County Election Board and all county election boards, if someone makes a mistake, they're like, hey, you messed this up. Could you fix it? When I ran for mayor, we forgot to do something with our expenditures, in-kind contributions. Let me know, so we fixed it, filed a report, and we were done and all good, much to the dismay of the cabal of crazy people out there. So with Diego, you're right. Kate Sweeney Bell, like, hey, Ms. Morales, your thing is wrong. Take it down, blah, or take that ad out, take that part of the ad out, or edit, do something, but you can't run this ad as is. Right. And to the best of my knowledge, Diego Morales never did it. So therefore, a grand jury is looking at that whole thing.
And you were just so calm about it, like just in the middle of the program.
This is coming out of the Marion County Prosecutor's Office?
Yeah.
All right, so there you go.
They would have jurisdiction.
There's your grenade for the day from Abdul. And if you're mad about it or think he's wrong, take it up with Abdul. He's the one saying it. All right, so the state of the state is tonight. We obviously talked about it at length with Merritt earlier in the program. Does Braun, what can he do given how he made everybody mad last year? The property tax thing, colossal disaster. Utility bills, disaster. Data centers, disaster. IEDC, disaster. And then he went and pissed all the senators off during redistricting, or a whole bunch of the senators anyway. What can he do tonight?
If I were Mike Braun, I would start the Mike Braun 2026 apology tour.
Oh.
Like, hey, guys.
Would you like to bet on the odds of that happening?
I would say, hey, look, we had some successes. We had some failures. I've learned a lot. I think we've all learned a lot. New administration. There's plenty of opportunity for greatness and also for mistakes. I think we had enough of our share of mistakes. Now let's focus on rebuilding our opportunities. Let's do X, Y, Z. It's how do you say I'm sorry without necessarily saying I'm sorry? Because right now the governor's agenda in the Senate is dead. He's not getting a darn thing if they can help it right now, because they're ticked off at primary challenges, which the numbnuts are still talking about filing primary.
You wrote about this in the cheat sheet that they are, and by they, it's not just these Turning Point USA people. Braun and his people are allegedly involved in recruiting these people.
Yes, they are. Like they're run somebody against Ron Alting, Richard Baxby, looking to run somebody against Travis Holdman. The guy who's got to sign your tax bill, your tax fiscal policy, that whole thing, that guy, yeah. Talk about running a primary challenge against Peggy Mayfield, Rod Bray, the Senate President Pro Tem, even though Rod isn't up until 20.
That's right.
28.
Someone should let them know that.
Yeah, but I think their argument is they think that they can win enough contested races that they could move to have Rod removed as president.
That doesn't help you now, though.
No,
he's
it does.
Still in charge.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I was curious. Last year in his State of the State, he was addressing the legislative body and people who are watching, taxpayers. This time, who's he going to be talking to the most?
I'll probably say he's probably talking to the Senate the most right now.
Yeah.
Because that's where he's got the most issues and the most trouble. The House side, not so much. I mean, granted, redistricting passed 67-31, but I would argue a lot of those votes in the 67 were people who knew it wasn't going to pass anyway, so I could vote for it. That way I got my ass covered. From this perspective, then it dies like, hey, well, I voted for it. I tried. So MAGA don't run a primary challenger against me.
A couple minutes left with Abdul Hakim Shabazz. Again, the big story, in case you're just tuning in, he says that the office of Diego Morales under a grand jury investigation related to an ad last year that featured the elections in Marion County and whether that was legal or not. Real quick, we got into this on State House Happenings. There are multiple bills to consolidate township government, get rid of township government. They're competing bills right now. And I'm so exhausted about talking about this because it seems like we've been at this for 20 years now.
Because we have.
And nothing ever happens with this, even though we have a layer of government that was literally set up and designed and is still collecting huge sums of money when people were traveling by horse.
Yes.
Why?
And here's why I think township government reform will actually probably happen this time as opposed to last time.
Oh.
It's because now not only do you have property tax caps in there, you got Senate Bill 1 in there too, which basically rewrites the whole property tax system here in the state of Indiana. And it's one thing to help schools with a little bit more money. It's another thing to help municipalities with a little bit more money. But township government, I don't see township government getting a thing as of today. So it's basically, okay, you won't go away, we'll just starve the beast then.
Yeah. All right, find him over at indypolitics.org. Abdul Hakim Shabazz, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. And mostly thank you for listening. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel here for Premier Weight Loss Indy, pwlindy.com, 2 different locations. And look, everybody is somewhere different in their health journey. People aren't the same, and treatments should not be the same. This is why I love Premier Weight Loss Indy. It's an in-person visit. You're going to get a consultation with a professional, and they will customize a plan specifically for you. Again, no plans are the same because people are not the same. So if you really want to take your health to the next level this year, start by going online to pwlindy.com. I lost a bunch of weight of my own, but then I hit a plateau and I couldn't lose anymore. I reached out for help. Premier Weight Loss Indy jumped in the mix, and now I'm down 16 additional pounds in 2 months. pwlindy.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Take care of your health.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
This is Denny Smith, and if you're on a well, peace of mind starts with knowing what's happening underground. Right now, C&J's offering their lowest price of the year, 20% off a 6-point well inspection, a professional check that helps catch small issues before they turn into expensive problems. From water pressure to system performance, C&J's technicians make sure your well is working the way it should, so your family gets safe, reliable water. Official partner of the Indiana Pacers and Fever, great systems, great people. 317-852-WELL, CJ4water.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy,
Hurry! We need more balloons!
On it!
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Parents, teachers, school board members, do you want your school to experience the richness of academic freedom or the constraints of a one-size-fits-all federal mandate called Common Core Standards? Advocates for academic freedom is for educational excellence and local control of your school. Come join the fight for your children's education. You can contact us at advocatesforacademicfreedom.org or call 1-715-234-5072.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up, combined with the wind chills may be near zero.
Her father, Bo Busby, tells us while the wait is agonizing,
Secretary Noem has called my impeachment efforts silly.
It's exciting, being in a position where I'm guarding some of the best players in the world.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Something familiar is making its way back to central Indiana. It's partly cloudy, 42 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, but it feels a lot colder than that. Try about 25 degrees, and it's only going to get colder from here as snow showers move in from the northwest a little bit later today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at noon. The cold is back, and temperatures will keep dropping through the afternoon as snow showers pop up here and there, and those northwest winds will be brutal. Try 35 miles an hour, making it feel even harsher outside.
We're forecasting lows in the teens tonight, and combined with the wind chills may be near zero tomorrow when you wake up. So that'll definitely be a bit of a shock to the system compared to the 50 degrees we had yesterday and the 45 degrees we have right now here in the India.
And that's forecaster Matt Eckhoff at the National Weather Service. He says another weak system will bring light snow Thursday into Friday, with areas picking up 1 inch, maybe a half inch. And the snow's not going to stop there through the weekend, off and on. Wednesday started like any other day for kids at a school on Indy's southwest side, even though somebody driving a car crashed into one of the classrooms. The crash happened just before 9 at Linwood Elementary Liberty Preschool. The classroom was empty, so nobody was inside the building. The driver was fine, but a child in the car was taken to the hospital. Firefighters checked the structural integrity of the building. They say it's safe, and kids are currently in that classroom right now. Police and volunteers continue searching for a 17-year-old girl missing from Fishers. Here's Johnette Cruz.
The search for Haley Page Busby is entering a new, more aggressive phase. Her father, Bo Busby, tells us while the wait is agonizing, a community-wide army has formed to help bring his daughter home.
And I know information is coming in from the public and being provided and being, looked at from these organizations. So it's really, it's never going to be fast enough as a parent.
That help also includes businesses funding the search and volunteer groups spreading flyers across state lines. Investigators are still looking into Haley's digital footprint. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Fishers Police Department. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Governor Mike Braun will deliver his State of the State tonight. It's his second one, marking the first year in office. During the year, he's proposed changes to property taxes and tighten state spending. Some of the proposals have moved forward while others were scaled back, and lawmakers are still thinking about his tax plan. Braun also requested mid-decade redistricting, but that failed, leaving the issue unresolved. His address tonight will cover the state's budget and its economic impact and other priorities that he wants to enact for the coming year. And you could listen to that speech right here on 93 WIBC at 7:30. How a Snapchat clue led to a bust of a Hoosier man, why the Pacers are riding hot right now, and what President Trump says he wants to do with funding for certain cities. Those stories and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, will President Trump take a hit at Iran? And does he need to? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
And WIBC news time is 12:03. Testimony continues today in a double murder case out of Virginia. Brendan Banfield, who used to be an IRS agent, is accused of killing his wife, Christine, and a man named Joseph Ryan back in February of 23. Prosecutors say Ryan was lured to Banfield's home through an online site and was shot there, while Christine later died from stab wounds at a hospital. Dolly Parton will not make it to her 80th birthday bash at the old Grand Opry. She's been handling some health issues and had to postpone a few appearances, but the celebration is not canceled. Lainey Wilson, Vince Gill, and other country stars will still honor her birthday this Saturday at the Opry Goes Dolly show. Some Democratic lawmakers are moving to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem after a federal immigration agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis last week. The effort, led by Rep. Robin Kelly of Illinois.
Secretary Noem has called my impeachment effort silly. I want to tell her right now, Secretary Noem, you have violated your oath of office, and there will be consequences.
And Noem has said the woman, Renee Good, was trying to use her car to kill a federal agent, but city leaders in Minneapolis say that's not true. That doesn't match what they're seeing, and they want a wider investigation. They also want the state to lead that investigation, but right now the FBI is. A Plainfield man is facing multiple charges relating to sex crimes. Jarrett Lewis tells you why.
An investigation lasting for nearly a year is bringing child pornography possession and intimidation charges against Braden Scott. The 23-year-old was arrested on Tuesday. He used to help the Plainfield High School band as a paid percussion technician, but the school says he was never a full-time employee. In February of last year, a 16-year-old girl at the school had told police she received disturbing messages from Scott through Snapchat. Then when investigators obtained a search warrant for his home, they found multiple phones, a few USB drives, and a laptop, all containing messages and pictures referencing sexual violence. Officers also say they found cocaine and a school project titled The Knife Cutter that depicted a character fixated on knives and cutting things and people. Jarrett Lewis, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers take on the Toronto Raptors at home tonight, trying to win their fourth game in a row, and one of the reasons they're playing so well is guard Johnny Furphy.
That's exciting, being in a position where I'm guarding some of the best players in the world. So I think it's the best thing for me. Even when I'm going to make mistakes and that sort of thing, I'm going to be able to learn from that, and being given that experience and that opportunity is going to be like really good for me.
And tip-off tonight at 7 o'clock in the #1 IU football team getting ready for Miami in the national title game Monday. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.
Ago, meanwhile, I got some breaking news. You see this map on your screen. That is where the United States has military bases throughout the Middle East. Now, we can confirm that the U.S. is withdrawing some personnel from major bases across the Middle East due to heightened regional tensions. And you look at some of this in Qatar, that's the Al Udeid Air Base. You got about 8,000 to 10,000 U.S. service members. That's one of the larger bases. You got another Army base in Kuwait that's been operating for some time now, several years, if not decades. So how much of withdrawal, we do not know.
And why?
But we know why. Guys at Fox, we know why. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today, good to be with you. The question is, are we at war with Iran? Well, we can answer certain parts of the question that Iran is always at war with us and has been since 1979. This has not changed. But what we are seeing are some heightened tensions, and we're seeing some advanced movements before the possibility of possibilities, certainly in the efforts to keep our own troops and our own hardware safe, and certainly to keep the Iranians, which is to say the Iranian regime and others, on their toes, off guard. They think we're coming from the left. Boom, we come from the right. We prove this. We send B-2 bombers across the Pacific only to hit Iran and these nuclear facilities from the Atlantic, and they never, ever saw it coming. Sun Tzu is not wrong. All warfare is deception. Every last bit of it. Don't let them know what you're doing. Don't let them know when you're doing it. Just hit them when they least expect it with overwhelming force until quite simply they fall down and beg you to stop. At that moment, you can decide whether you're going to stop or not. Oh, I don't know about you, but if I'm involved in a war, I want to win. And I want to win so decidedly that nobody thinks about messing with me for a good long time to come. Are we at war with Iran? Well, the president has been very, very clear. He has made his statements known. He has spoken to the Iranian patriots, and he has said the words as clear as day. Iranian patriots, keep protesting. Take over your institutions. Save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I've canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. MEGA, make Iran great again. President Donald J. Trump. Now, as I said the other day, I would be MEPA, make America Persia again, but neither here nor there. Help is on its way. What does one take from that? That help is on its way. And help regarding what? Well, we understand that the Iranian regime is going to put protesters to death. Yesterday, the number reported was 12,000. 12,000 protesters killed by the Iranian regime. Then you saw the BBC reporting it as 2,400. You're like, wait, whoa, what just happened here? 12,000, 2,400. We said it yesterday. You knew it. You knew it the minute you saw the 12,000 number. You could believe it. I'm not even saying it's wrong. But we have such little data coming out right now from Iran, there's no way to know if the number is wholly accurate. There's just no way to know. So you got to take that number with a grain of salt. And that's what I did. You'll note, as I said, that the people who were supportive of destroying Israel and supporting Hamas, they never took the number with a grain of salt. If the Gaza Health Ministry, which is Hamas, if the Gaza Health Ministry said 80,000 people were killed, well then, my gosh, 80,000 people were killed, then you can't ever question the number. Because they're liars, because they're frauds, because they're willfully ignorant, because they hate you and gaslighting Americans is what they're all about. All of these disgusting, despicable lowlifes, whether they're from Columbia University or they're elected officials locally or nationally, makes no difference. Disgusting. And some of them are still out there, even though the facts show them wrong, they're still screaming genocide because they have nothing else to do. It's what happens when you're a loser. It's what happens when you are a bigot, when you are an anti-Semite, when you just have nothing to do but develop theories and philosophies that satisfy your hateful urge. But that's enough about Candace Owens. Trump has warned of very strong action if the Iranians engage in these executions. Allow me, the Iranians are going to engage in these executions. This is happening. They're trying to put down this protest. And as we have seen from the headline at the New York Post, no mercy. Iran's judiciary chief, or Iran's judiciary chief, I should say, issues spine-chilling execution orders as a 26-year-old protester awaits death, who's now become kind of the face of this. I don't want him dead. I don't want any of them dead. I want the Ayatollah gone. I want the mullahs destroyed. Destroyed. Vanquished. I apologize for nothing. The question is, how are we going to do it? How are we going to make that happen? Does this involve the U.S. getting involved in a way that has troops on the ground? I don't believe it does. And while I am certainly more willing to engage fights than others, right? We talk about a place I have a real split from MAGAville. I don't even know how we would do it. It's not that we're not capable of doing it. I don't know how we would do it. Does this mean we take out Iran's ability to engage in an attack on neighboring countries, allies, etc.? whether that be Israel, whether that be Saudi Arabia, that Iran has been in a proxy war with in Yemen for years. Well, I could see that. I think you can too. I think that if we were sitting on the bar stool together having a bourbon, we'd be like, yeah, okay. You figure out where their bases are and you take out those bases. That's what you do. Just take them right out. Now, you know that they've moved military equipment. They've recreated and refinessed some of their bases, and we may have access to all of that because we can see them and they can't see us. How would you help the people who are engaged in the overthrow? Do you sneak them in weapons? Is that what they need? President Trump said we're going to put a 25% tariff on any nation that does deals with Iran. I think that hurts the people more than it hurts the Ayatollah. But is there something like that could be done? So when he says help is on its way, I have been going through it. I don't know what it is. I think if I'm assessing the situation properly, the president is pot committed, if we're going to talk about this in terms of poker. I don't think he's walking away from the hand. I don't think that this is all a bluff and he's going to fold. I don't think, not only do I think he can't afford to fold, I don't think he wants to. There's a real moment here. And if we think about it like Trump for a second, there is a legacy moment here. And the legacy moment is, look at the peace that I was able to help create. Iran as a signature of the Abraham Accords, game over. Game over. Just, that is legacy stuff that Biden or Obama would dream about and will never, ever, ever come. In order to get there, I believe the president actually has to help get there, which means he's pot committed. There is going to be some action. I can't figure out what the action is. We talk about the moving, as you heard from Fox News, from certain bases. BBC reporting that the U.S. and the U.K. are pulling personnel from Qatar's military base, reducing the number of personnel there. That could be you want to be able to be away from Iranian missile attacks. It could be you've deployed these people elsewhere to be part of a potential assault. President Trump briefed on military and covert options for Iran, long-range missile strikes, having the carriers there in the Gulf or in the Med to be able to engage those attacks. That is absolutely possible. This attack could come via the Israelis. We are selling them more F-35 strike fighters. Maybe they're not sold as much as they're given, right? I don't know the particulars of the financials of the deal. And let them and their security forces run the raids. You'll note that we sold dozens of F-35 strike fighters to Saudi Arabia. Why in the world would we do that? Well, don't think of Saudi Arabia as a country that we have an adversarial relationship with. We should have dealt with Saudi Arabia more strongly after September 11th. We didn't. That is our fault, and that moment has passed. We live in the now. And in the now, in the real politique of it all, you got to deal with these people. So we sell them F-35 strike fighters. We sell them M1 Abrams tanks. What in the world do these people need a tank for? Don't think of it as a nation having weaponry they can use against their enemies. Think of it as a forward base for us. A land carrier instead of a carrier on the water. It's a drop-off point for our military to be able to then get into our vehicles and then be able to take off and deal with our enemies. That's what it is. Saudi Arabia is nothing more than over-the-horizon capability, which is why we should have kept Bagram as an Air Force base in Afghanistan and never given it up. And you know, if you don't know now, I'm telling you now, Trump is eyeing that thing like he's eyeing Greenland and saying, we got to get back there and we got to have troops there and we have to have over-the-horizon technology, or not technology, capability. That's coming. That is 10,000% coming. How are we going to deal with Iran? I don't know. I don't have the answer. And I think the people are kind of hoping they're right. I can't imagine a single troop on the ground. I can't imagine taking out military targets. I can imagine levels of attack involving power, involving water, involving crippling the capability of the Ayatollah to do anything, including escape. I can imagine the back channeling to allow the Ayatollah to escape. I may disagree with it, but again, the real politics of it all. The only thing I know is that based on everything that's been said and everything that's been done, President Trump can't turn back now. It'd be devastating to him. It'd be devastating to the midterms. It would be devastating to how he is viewed around the globe. He's in. What we don't know is what the in is. But if you are surprised that there might be action against Iran in the next 24, 48, 96 hours before the month of January is up, you would be the only one who's surprised. No, we're here. And I believe, based on the data, that one way or another this is happening. I'm Tony Katz, and this is Tony Katz Today. Tickets are on sale right now for Trump 1 year later. The highs, the lows, how we win the midterms, happening at the Hyatt Regency, downtown Indianapolis. The bourbon will flow. The food will be fantastic. We're going to go over Trump's past year and how we use that to win the midterms. It's going to be informing, entertaining, and very, very funny. I promise. Join us, Trump 1 year later. Brought to you by Premier Arms, PA Jewelers, Defiance Beef, Chimney Solutions, and WIBC. Get your tickets at WIBC.com.
What is the most important thing that'll help you maintain your same lifestyle in retirement? Here's the answer. It's income. That's going to help you maintain your same lifestyle in retirement. When you have a consistent and steady stream of income, it enables you to do all the things you want to do in retirement. Hey, what's going on? It's Hammer and Nigel. And you may not realize it, but there are strategies that could give you a 20% upfront bonus, a strong return that's averaged nearly 10% a year, and it's backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world.
Think of it as creating your own personal pension. Learn more from the retirement guy that we trust, Bill Demery, right here in Indy. Call 317-805-4716. That's 317-805-4716, 317-805-4716, or visit yourretirementguy.com.
Your event isn't just a date on a calendar. It's a reputation. It's your reputation. It's a moment you can't get back. So why trust anybody else? Trust the most experienced at Nameless Catering. We are engineered for high-stakes weddings and massive corporate lunches. We rely on systems, not stock photos. We don't just deliver meals, we deliver peace of mind. We are Nameless Catering, Indianapolis's standard for service.
Gain insight on how to prepare for a secure retirement.
In our younger years, we want as much growth and accumulation as we can muster.
Take advantage of a free discovery call, 877-524-2677, 877-524-2677.
It's important for you to understand what that's going to look like later on.
And tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show with Will Gonzalez, Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
There was a leak. And it was a leak of the identities of thousands of ICE and Border Patrol agents. Tony Katz, good to be with you. Tony Katz today. Find everything I do over at TonyKatz.com. That's where you find me and all the good, groovy stuff right there. A group that calls itself, what is it, the ICE list? They say they're a journalistic project to share information to, quote, hold ICE members legally accountable. No, you want to out ICE members and find where they live and find where their children live, and you want to hurt them. I mean, that's just, we don't have to question this anymore. We know exactly what's going down. 4,500 federal employees working with ICE, their identities leaked, including 2,000 agents. According to the DHS, the leak is going to constitute 4,500 felonies. In the meantime, what do? How does this information get used? The list is hosted in the Netherlands, so it can't be taken down by the U.S. government. And the argument is, after the shooting death of Renee Good, well, people have had enough. Yeah, consider me one of them. Sick and tired of these so-called protesters who want to support illegal immigrants and illegal immigration over the country and the safety of the nation. I'm tired of them attacking ICE agents. Stop. Stop blocking traffic. Stop disobeying direct orders. Stop trying to run people over. Stop. Stop destroying buildings. Stop attacking ICE agents. Stop ramming them with your car. Stop with the false imprisonment. Stop. That's all. Just stop. I didn't say you had to agree with the policies. But you're not engaged in disagreement. You're engaged in violent assault. And you're thrilled that someone got killed so you can have more ammunition with which you can go after the ICE agents. That's, if you say to me, that is so awful, that is such a terrible thing to say, that's how you come across. Don't blame me. Don't get angry with me for noticing how it is you act. And then you have the audacity to say to us that somehow you are good and pious. As for the prosecutors who have resigned over this, because they don't like the fact that the DOJ is not making a case regarding the ICE agent or even investigating, I think there should be an investigation. I think it's healthy. You had an ICE agent involved in a shooting. What the White House is going to say is it was clear self-defense. The agent was attacked. This domestic terrorist tried to run him over. And the left screams and loses their mind. Domestic terrorist, how dare you? This is a citizen. The White House uses the term domestic terrorist because that's how the left is describing ICE agents. So all they're doing is utilizing that same methodology back at them. The left is infuriated about it. Maybe you should stop. Maybe we should all just stop being crazy. But the left believes that they are somehow ordained by a God that they don't even believe in to go do this. They believe that they are in the right, that they are somehow touched with the secret knowledge that they can engage in violence and they are righteous. If ICE wasn't doing anything, if ICE was not even involved in any operations in Minneapolis, the leftists would have somebody else to go after. Do we not understand what the Antifa type is all about? Do we not understand the concepts of permanent revolution? There is always something. But even if they were to disagree with ICE, as one could argue that they do, if they think that acts of violence, if they think that attacking ICE agents is proper and good, they have to be told that they're wrong, because they are wrong. Us following the laws, that's what makes sense. And this leak here, find the leaker, throw the leaker in jail for life. Cat's out of the bag. You now have 2,000 agents who have been almost quite literally unmasked. And bad things are going to come from this, which is what the left wants, and they feel that they're somehow allowed to do it. They're not. This is Tony Katz today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
She didn't show up. I'm Jonette Cruz. Here's what's trending this hour. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer spoke to reporters after Secretary of State Hillary Clinton refused to show up for a closed deposition regarding files to Jeffrey Epstein.
We're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress. We believe that because this subpoena was issued in a bipartisan fashion, the Democrats acted the day that the subpoenas were voted on in the subcommittee like they wanted the Clintons to come.
Senate Republicans are making a new push against fraud, introducing a bill that would expand the Trump administration's ability to strip citizenship from Americans and deport them. Fox's Bill Malugin.
So Republican Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn has introduced this new bill. It's called the Fraud Accountability Act. What it would do is change U.S. law to allow any naturalized Americans convicted of any type of felony fraud to have their U.S. citizenship stripped away and also be deported.
I'm Jonette Cruz, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Join me January 24th as we sip some bourbon and talk about how we win the midterms. Trump, 1 year later, the Red Tie Gala, the highs of the last year, the lows of the last year, and how we win the midterms. We're going to drink great bourbon, eat great food, laugh a lot. Come join me January 24th, 2026, downtown Indianapolis at the Hyatt Regency. Trump, 1 year later, with me, Tony Katz. Go to tickets.tonykatz.com, tickets.tonykatz.com, or get your tickets right now at WIBC.com. And join me for some great bourbon January 24th.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at JoynerHomes.com.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed, or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Owe the IRS $10,000 or more in business or personal back taxes? Call the Tax Doctor now. Learn how to pay the IRS less. 800-430-3062. 800-430-3062.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We're getting our showers back, everybody. That's a beautiful thing. That is spectacular. They are repealing some of those Biden-era regulations that wanted to put limitations on your shower. Well, you can't have this much water flow. You can only have that much water flow. And we have to save the planet and all those things. 226 to 197 was the vote, saying that Washington bureaucrats have gone too far in dictating what happens in Americans' own homes. What I'm hoping this means is that you get to keep your gas stove. This is a great example, and we'll get into what happened in the Supreme Court yesterday. It was a bad day for the progressives who want to make the claim that boys can be girls and girls can be boys, who want to be able to engage in mutilation of children, who can't stop thinking about children's genitals. That's all the left does. All they do is think about kids' genitals. What? No, they say that about the right all the time when the right pushes back and tries to protect children from these people who are abusers and want to mutilate kids. They're always like, you can't stop talking about kids' genitals. It's the left that is obsessed with children's genitals. Can't believe I've used that word so much on the show today. Usually it takes a week to make that many mentions of genitals. Yeah, the show's interesting, right? Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. A real embarrassment for the lawyers involved in trying to bring these cases to the Supreme Court and ensure that boys can play in girls' sports. Really embarrassing for Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is not qualified. She can't do it. She isn't smart enough. End of list. And a fascinating take from, I think it was the West Virginia Solicitor General, regarding these cases and Title IX. So smart. I had not heard anybody do this before, although this theory may have been out there. I'll break it down. Absolutely special. But when people on the political right were pushing back against the abuse of children and the abuse of young women and telling them they can't participate in sports, that you can push them out for a boy who claims to be a girl, the left said, why are you always involved in these culture wars? Why is it always about the culture